All right, welcome. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Friday. Hope everybody's in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. A lot to get to, a lot to go over. Well, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you're probably not in too good of a mood today. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Also, at the bottom of the hour, we have some new information on this high school shooter in California. We'll get to that. Is it a shocker? I said it yesterday that his family probably a bunch of nut jobs themselves. We'll talk about that, an update on that tragic shooting that took the lives of a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. It's just awful. Terrible. Have you heard of this MAGA challenge? That's right. Donald Trump is calling on all people to rap, come up with the best rap of Donald Trump, of course in a positive light, and the winner gets a free trip to the White House. Well, we have a few samples of that we will be sharing with you. And it's quite funny, actually, and pathetic at the same time. So we will play those for you coming up here in a little bit. Always have fun talking to Daneal Negreanu. Obviously, he's a World Series of Poker champion. He's been the face of poker for 20 years, but he also happens to be Canadian, and he's a huge hockey fan, and he has some interesting opinions when it comes to this Don Cherry situation. This is the guy that's been a hockey broadcaster for 50 years who made some controversial comments about immigrants. We're going to get Daneal Negreanu's take on that and why he is a supporter of Mr. Yang for president of the United States. So that'll be coming up in hour number 2. In hour number 3, we'll be talking with the guys from Human Nature. They're going to be coming in studio and a live performance, and we'll be giving some tickets away to that. So that's going to be a lot of fun, too. We'll talk a little UNLV basketball and football. UNLV football plays Hawaii tomorrow. The Hoops, they play UCLA tonight. Mr. Cronin at UCLA. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll have a wine giveaway and plenty more to chat about. But the first thing I want to talk about is the football game last night. Usually the first thing we talk about is not sports. It's usually not. But this is a big story that transcends outside of sports and just everyday life, right? In a normal everyday situation, if I decided to attack somebody on the sidewalk or anywhere for that matter, with a football helmet, I would probably go to jail and I would definitely be arrested for assault. But for some reason in the world of sports, in this case in the NFL, that doesn't happen. So let me start from the beginning. The Cleveland Browns were in action last night at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The game was in hand for Cleveland. They were up 2 touchdowns late. It was a horrible game to watch. Sadly, I watched some of it, certainly the fourth quarter, and there wasn't a lot of offense. I think the score was 21-7 late in the game, and literally there was 8 seconds left in the game. Pittsburgh wasn't going to score. The game was over. It was over for the last 5 minutes, right? So the game is over, and Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph gets sacked, an unnecessary sack by Myles Garrett. So I want to play you the audio, but I also want to describe to you what happened, but I'll probably put it in a bigger description after the audio. So here's the audio of Myles Garrett taking down quarterback Mason Rudolph, and then the ensuing tussle. Here's what it sounded like on TV.
As whoa, hello, whoa. Yeah, that's Mason Rudolph got into it. To get out of there. What in the world? Believe Myles Garrett? They're swinging a helmet?
Yeah, there'll be some ejections.
Yeah, there's no question. And there was, and we will get to that. So here's what happened. As I mentioned, Garrett takes down Mason Rudolph, by the way, for no reason. Rudolph already got rid of the football. I don't even know why he did that. And then there becomes a little bit of a scuffle. A couple of the Pittsburgh players didn't like it. Don't blame them. So it was a little pushing and shoving. Nothing wrong with a little pushing and shoving. I don't think nobody's going to have a problem with that. But then the tussle goes into the end zone, and that's when things got really bad. Myles Garrett takes Mason Rudolph's helmet off. And as the tussle continues, Garrett uses Rudolph's helmet as a weapon and hits him in the head with the helmet, which is very serious. That could cause serious injury. Luckily, it didn't. And then after the play, there were a few other players on Cleveland that got involved in the tussle. But I want to focus on Myles Garrett. After the game, Mason Rudolph was asked about, Garrett clubbing him in the head with his own helmet. Here's what he had to say. Do we have that audio? This is Mason Rudolph responding to Myles.
Have you ever seen anything like that in football?
Not in my years, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty cowardly, kind of pretty bush league, which, there's plenty of tape out there to watch. I haven't seen it replay, but yes, I really haven't seen it, anything like that yet. How do you feel? I'm fine. I'm good. Good to go.
He's good to go, but he wasn't exactly a happy camper. So then after the game, Browns head coach answering questions about Myles Garrett actions. Here's his response.
We don't condone that, and it's not going to Myles understands what he did wrong, all right? He's got to maintain his composure, just like he had to do at the start of the year. He had to maintain his composure. We got 5 seconds in the game. I'm sorry, but it's kind of like, he understands.
Coach, get it right. It was 8 seconds, not 5 seconds. Anyway, so Myles Garrett did actually respond after the game, and what's he going to say? Of course he's going to admit he was wrong. Here's a couple of his comments after the game.
I made a mistake. I lost my cool, and I regret it. It's going to come back to hurt our team. The guys who jumped in the little scrum, I appreciate my team having my back, but it just never got to that point. That's on me.
How tough is it for you guys to play the kind of game you did, and then to have it all seem to be overshadowed by that play?
A win's a win. I don't think it's overshadowed by what happens in 8 seconds.
Okay, well, Myles is 100% wrong. Of course it was overshadowed. He's not being honest. Of course, the questions were not about, hey, big win for Cleveland, right? They beat Pittsburgh. They beat the Ravens in the same year. This is a big win for you guys, isn't it? No, nobody was talking about that. Everybody was talking about Myles Garrett. So he is 100% wrong. So here's my opinion on this whole thing. And by the way, if you're wondering, Myles Garrett has been suspended for the season. If he wasn't suspended for the season, there would have been an uproar. But here's my question, and I alluded to it earlier. If I'm walking down the street, if I'm in a bar, if I'm hanging out with friends, whatever the case may be, and I get angry and I lose my cool, and I attack somebody with an object, in this case a football helmet, what would happen? The police would probably be called out. I'd be arrested for assault. I'd probably go to jail. Now, I understand there's fighting in hockey. I'll get to that in a second. But in my personal opinion, he should be arrested. He absolutely should be arrested for assault. If you're pushing and shoving somebody, even a kick, I wouldn't condone that. But this is taking it to a whole nother level. He used Rudolph's helmet as a weapon, period. We all saw it. I have been an NHL hockey fan since I was 8 years old. My dad took me to Hartford Whaler games when I was very, very young, and there's no sport I love more than hockey. So nobody can say, Brian, you don't know anything about the NHL, you don't know anything about hockey. I understand it is an extremely physical sport. There's a lot of cheap shots, and the players protect their goaltenders. I understand that. That being said, there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving, and yes, the NHL has allowed fighting for a very long time, even though there's not as much fighting now as there was, say, 10 years ago. With that being said, I have always had the strong opinion that fighting should not be allowed in the NHL. They should not allow someone to take off the gloves, and if somebody throws a punch at another individual, it should be assault. I have always had that opinion. I think it sets a horrible precedence for young kids. You go to NHL games, you see families there, and the kids say, fight, fight, punch him. What kind of example are we setting for our kids? Yes, hockey is an extremely physical sport. I've said the same thing in hockey, so I'm going to be consistent there. There should be no place for this in sports. Yes, there's going to be pushing and shoving. Yes, there's going to be some skirmishes around. That's going to happen. The leagues need to police that. Not only should there be no fighting in the NHL, but those players should be arrested for assault. I bet you no one would take off the gloves in the NHL, or if they did, it'd be very rare if you could be arrested for assault. It wouldn't happen. It would clean up the game. It would set a better example for kids. I say the same thing about the NFL. Now, it's very rare. The NFL does not allow punches being thrown. Usually, if you throw a punch, you're going to get a suspension, right? If you take a helmet off and you hit somebody over the head with it, clearly you're going to be suspended for the entire year. This guy has a history, by the way. But I am not the only person that feels this way. There are many others, including former UNLV quarterback Caleb Herring, who's been on this show before, who went on social media. And he said the same thing I'm saying, that there should be no place for this, that there should be more than just a suspension. A suspension is not good enough. He should be charged. And in all of sports, we rarely ever see this, right? I mean, obviously, when you go back to the malice at the palace, when Ron Artest decided to lose his mind, go in the stands and punch some people, and then many others, there were charges filed there. But that was a very different scenario. I personally believe that if you take matters into your own hands and you're a professional athlete, that's why we call you a professional athlete, because you're supposed to act in a professional manner. And I can tell you right now, if I was, watching an adult rec basketball game and a fight ensued and punches were thrown, I can almost guarantee, and I've seen this happen before, by the way, the police are called out, and usually there are arrests that are made.
Well, and it would be like if you were watching an adult basketball game and a 7-foot player took off his shoe and tried to hit another player in the head with it 30 or 40 times. That would kind of be what this translates to. The average NFL helmet weighs 6 pounds. Myles Garrett is 6'4", 270 pounds. He was considered one of the best athletes to enter the NFL when he came into the NFL. I think had this helmet, because if you watch it, he kind of missed him, but had that helmet connected, Mason Rudolph could have had a serious head injury. And had that helmet connected, I would call this assault with a deadly weapon.
I wouldn't say it's assault with a deadly weapon. I'm not sure you can kill somebody doing what he did, but I certainly
You don't think it'd be like a 6'4", 270-pound person taking a 5-pound weight, right? What's a hammer weigh?
I wouldn't compare a football helmet to a hammer.
I'm just saying.
If you hit somebody with a hammer over the head, you're probably going to die.
Taking a 5-pound weight and being extreme. I mean, he had 35 bench reps.
I understand,
at the combine. He's an extremely strong guy.
I understand, but
taking it,
it's never going to go to that extreme.
And throwing it towards your head is as hard as he can. And that's what happened.
I understand, here. But I wouldn't say that a helmet is a deadly weapon.
I mean, it's 6 pounds. 6'4", 270 pounds with a 6-pound weapon, and you have nothing.
But listen,
nothing to defend yourself.
But listen, we're in a place where he's not even being arrested for anything.
Well, I know that's why it's insane. He should definitely be arrested for something.
Assault with a deadly weapon. I think there has to be some in between there. And yes, I think he should have been arrested for assault. But just to give you an idea, and like I said, he was suspended for the remainder of the season, putting his team in a really bad spot.
And that's at a minimum. Then Ogunjobi, the defensive tackle.
That's what I was going to talk about.
He was suspended for 1 game. Mm-hmm. And Marquise Pouncey, who just basically defended Mason Rudolph, he was his center. He's suspended for 3 games for the Steelers.
And I agree with that because he also acted inappropriately. I understand you're trying to defend your quarterback, but you can't kick somebody when they're on the ground. That's pretty bad. 3 games is probably the right amount. But again, I go back to what I've said earlier, and I'll ask anybody that wants to call in on this and give their take at 257-5396. It is my personal opinion that if you take somebody's helmet off in an NFL game and use it as a weapon, you should be criminally charged. It is also my opinion. Now, right now, the NHL allows fighting. They police it themselves. I personally believe, and like I've said it for years, if you drop the gloves in the NHL, that's assault. Now, I know that by the NHL standards, they police it. I don't think they should allow it. I think it's bad for society. I think it sets a bad example for kids, and it shouldn't happen. So let me ask all of you guys this question. Let me ask all of you guys this question, and let me just give out the phone. My question that I want to ask is this. Do you think that Myles Garrett should go to jail? Do you think that Myles Garrett should be criminally charged? Or do you think with the NFL and the way they responded, are you happy with that? They suspended him for the rest of the year. Let me give out the number. It's 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. 257-5396. And again, the question is, do you think the NFL handled this the right way? Do you think Myles Garrett should be criminally charged? Or do you think because they're playing a very physical sport, it's understandable, and while he deserves to be suspended, we got to cut him some leeway, and the law should not be a factor in decision-making here, and he should not be criminally charged. Again, that number, 257-5396, 702-257-5396. And by the way, maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think fighting should be allowed in the NHL. I've disagreed with that for years. There is no reason why the NHL should allow fighting. There is no reason why they should be allowed to police it themselves. Won't happen in any other sport. But yet in the NHL, they allow it. They don't allow fighting in the NBA. They don't allow fighting in the NFL. I mean, it happens. But the NHL is the only sport that actually allows it, and they give you a 5-minute penalty for dropping the gloves with somebody. That's it. And then your teammates are clapping for you. The fans are clapping for you. It's been encouraged for years in the NHL, certainly by the fans. In fact, many NHL teams have had enforcers, quote unquote, on their teams for that very reason, just to fight. It's been going on for years. So what do you think should happen to Myles Garrett? Should he be criminally charged? Did the NFL make a mistake? Or are you happy with the full season suspension? Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the convo, 257-5396.
Well, I'm seeing something on Twitter, and people are starting to say that maybe he was provoked to do what he did. And people that have actually been on our show on multiple occasions who are in media in Las Vegas are saying, well, what if he said the magic N-word? Would that reaction be warranted? What are your thoughts on that, Brian? What if Mason Rudolph called Myles Garrett the N-word?
Okay, well, number one, he didn't, so I don't even know why we're bringing that up. I'm confused at the question because that's not what happened. You're asking me what if?
It's something I'm seeing on Twitter pretty consistently as a possible.
Okay, but let me be very clear.
Justification for his action.
Well, I'll answer that by saying this. I don't care what you say to somebody. You could threaten somebody's life. You could use the N-word, which are horrible things. And that still doesn't give you a right to physically assault somebody. You could be walking down the street and call an African-American the N-word, and I would say, well, if that guy pounces you, you probably deserve it. I don't feel sorry for you, but that doesn't give that person the right to physically assault you. Sadly, in our society, if you're in public, you can say what you want. Now, there are consequences to that, but if you're on the football field and that was used, and by the way, there's no evidence even close to support that Mason Rudolph said that. That's why I don't even like talking about it. But if that was said, that still wouldn't give Myles Garrett the right to do what he did. I think it would give him a little bit more, I'm not going to say credibility, but I think we all would be a little bit more understanding.
It'd be more justified.
It wouldn't be justified, but I think
the helmet is never justified.
Okay, but that's what we're talking about.
Right.
I'm saying it still wouldn't be justified, but we'd give a little bit more credence to why he did what he did, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, my answer. 702-257-5396 the number to call. Why don't we go to Don? Don, you are next on the Vegas Take. Don, what do you make of all this?
So I think, the suspension, take the year off without pay. And if he doesn't get his act together, go to counseling. But really my comment is like when you said about the NHL.
Yeah.
Fighting happens. We watch UFC.
Yeah, but that's different. But that's different.
But it's part of sports. It's part of that adrenaline. You see it in all sports. And, yes, it needs to be policed. These are franchises. These are corporations. They're making a lot of money. They need to police it, but the NHL is a lot better than it used to be.
I agree with that, but how often do you see two people square up in the NBA? I think it happened once or twice this year. It maybe happened several times over the course of a season. Same thing, Major League Baseball, it happens with pitchers and hitters, where they'll charge the mound, but it's not encouraged like it is in the NHL. I wouldn't say it happens anywhere near as much as it happens in the NHL, and I don't think there's any place for it. I don't think it should happen in the NHL.
Well, I think most hockey fans love to see a good game.
Of course,
a clean game where they hit hard. There's times that guys take cheap shots, man. When you got that adrenaline pumping and a guy's
there's a difference though, Don.
Whatever,
but Don, isn't there a difference? Don, I agree, but isn't there a difference between taking a cheap shot and going in the penalty box and dropping the gloves and squaring up with somebody else and letting the officials let it go until somebody gets knocked down? To me, there's a big difference there, Don, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, but at the same time, if you ask true hockey fans, I've only been watching hockey really since then the Kings came to L.A., which has been a while. But back when Gretzky, he was a big dog, and they protected him.
They protected him. You're right. I don't think you have to square up.
That's just that's sports, man. You want to win, you're getting paid money. You're not going to be complacent. That's not a sport to be complacent.
Don, I don't necessarily disagree with what you said, and I hear you, my man, and I'm sure you're a big hockey fan, as am I. I just think it sets a bad precedence for kids, for families. I appreciate the phone call. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Eddie. Eddie, you're next. What do you make of all this?
What's up,
Eddie?
Eddie?
How you doing there?
Good.
Great.
Well, basically, this is all on the league right now. They've got the film.
They've got everything that happened last night. Now, they've made the game boring over the last 2 years with the non-hitting because they want to protect the head, and I do understand that. But now it's time for them to set a precedence. I think that the quarterback should probably be at least a 4-game suspension. Pouncey, at least 6 games for the rest of the season. But the Garrett should get at least a full year suspension. That's 10 games from next year also.
Okay, so you're saying it needs to go into next year also.
It's got to be the league right now. The league has got control of this right now, and if they don't react on this right now, then they're being hypocritical.
Eddie, let me ask you a question, though. Why do you think Mason Rudolph deserves to be suspended?
Well, basically, his reactions were in the game. He got sacked. He laid on him for a bunch. He was pissed off. He should have punched him. I would have been fine with a punch, but he went to grab at the helmet because maybe he wanted to punch him. So now it just has to be more of a, hey, you went after the head thing. That's totally different. If he punched the guy in the helmet with his hands, that's different. But when he tried to pull his helmet off, he's got to be punished too.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. I do agree with you, though, Eddie, when it comes to Myles Garrett. I do believe that the rest of the year is not enough.
What?
I'm on your side on that one. Let's take one more. Squeeze in one more quick phone call.
They're saying minimum right now. Rest of the year minimum.
Yeah. Let's squeeze in one more quick phone call. Let's go to Marge. Marge, what do you make of all this?
What's up, Marge?
Several points. Number one, I don't know what's in their contracts, but if they don't have anything to this effect, I think they should start having that in their contracts when they sign up. The comparison to hockey is different. You know, I agree. I mean, hockey becomes pretty violent at times, but not football. And football has had a bad vibe for a while. They're finally coming back, and now this happens. The other thing is, who knows if there's not going to be later on some type of, I don't know, result of this with Rudolph, because sometimes concussions can get delayed, and you don't know, and could he also sue him civilly?
Well, that's a valid
too.
And that's a valid comment, Marge. I apologize I had to cut you off there. We're up against a hard break, but you're right. I mean, what would we be talking about, Marge, if that hit with the helmet caused him a concussion and tampered on with his career? You're absolutely right. So we got it.
Or what if he did that to Tom Brady?
That's true. That's a good point.
I think he'd probably be in jail.
Okay, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the latest information in regards to that school shooting in California. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, Protect My Car is announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-485-1560 now. Drivers who are covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free car rental at no additional cost. Call Protect My Car for your free quick quote today. 800-485-1560. 800-485-1560. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-485-1560.
Does your child love math? Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students. And whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now. 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work-study funds. Learn more at studentaid.gov.
720 on the AM, 101.5 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON.
Special report House impeachment inquiry. The president's longtime friend Roger Stone has just been convicted of all counts in his trial from the special counsel's Russia investigation. The charges including lying to Congress, witness intimidation, and others. He's being allowed to remain free pending sentencing and could get 20 years in prison. The former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, says she felt threatened when she read President Trump's comments about the call with Ukraine President Zelensky on July 25th.
What did you think when President Trump told President Zelensky and you read that you were going to go through some things?
I didn't know what to think, but I was very concerned.
What were you concerned about?
She's going to go through some things. It didn't sound good. It sounded like a threat.
Yovanovitch is facing questions from both sides before the House impeachment inquiry at this hour. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Pardee Homes. An accident reported on the 215 Southern Beltway westbound Decatur. Vehicles off to the right. Traffic slow from I-15. Slowing I-15 northbound, Tropicana to Sahara, and southbound delay Sahara to Russell. On the 95, northbound expect slowing eastern to the Spaghetti Bowl. A nice recovery is underway from the rush hour. On the surface streets, a crash injury sustained reported Jones Boulevard at Wigwam. Watch for police and fire at the scene. Get smart buy savings on move-in ready homes valley-wide from the high 200,000s at PardeeSmart.com. Pardee Homes is an equal opportunity housing builder. Nevada Contractors License Number 36338. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
If you are behind on your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt or medical bills forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. It's not bankruptcy, it's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven. Call for your free forgiveness information now. 800-291-6670. That's 800-291-6670. Don't wait. Call 800-291-6670. Not available in North Dakota.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, and I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4. Be there.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
They had to drink out of the toilet. I took a drink out of there, and it's actually pretty good.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us. By the way, this is going to be a lot of fun coming up in the 10 a.m. hour. I'm actually really looking forward to this. Not that I'm not looking forward to John Schaefer doing the news, because he does a fantastic job. But so you hear about this new thing. Donald Trump is endorsing this MAGA challenge. He's telling people to do these short videos of raps, both white people and black people, everybody. He's not singling out one race, surprisingly. He's including everybody. Donald Trump, really? Yeah, he is. So we have a few samples of some of these raps, and we're all going to vote on who we think is the best rap. And by the way, the winner of this thing, not our little get-together here, of all these raps, will win a trip to the White House to meet Donald Trump. So we're going to play a few of those for you. I think they're absolutely terrible, but that's just my opinion. But anyway.
But you hate rap music in general, Brian.
Not true.
So you're going to really hate amateur
Not true.
rap music.
Not true.
Okay, you like Biggie.
You make gross exaggerations and
No.
assumptions about me every day.
You like Notorious B.I.G. Who else? Who else do you like?
This is typical J.D.
You like
Sharp.
Tupac. You just like dead rappers.
No, you just come in here and
You
you
like
make
Nipsey
assumptions. You make I don't. When did I say I respect Nipsey Hussle? I don't like his music. That would be like me saying all you listen to is country music because you're from Omaha, Nebraska.
No, it has nothing to do with that, Brian. You've stated on multiple occasions that you don't think Kanye West is very talented.
I never said I don't think Kanye West is talented.
You don't think T.I. is very talented.
I'm saying...
We had a conversation last week about it.
Well, if you want to do 25 minutes on this, we can. I can give you my opinion on rap.
Well, you just accused me of making gross assumptions about you. I'm giving you some substance behind them as to why they're not gross assumptions.
I prefer 80s and 90s rap. I don't think many of the rappers today are very talented.
And you're talking...
That's all.
80s and 90s would be who? Run DMC?
Well, they're the starters of rap.
Right.
Obviously, they're the front men who started this whole thing for the most part. But I think Biggie, I think Tupac, those guys in the 90s, I consider to be a lot more talented than Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. The Chronic was one of the first albums I ever bought as a kid. I think those rappers.
That was a great album.
Those rappers, to me, had and still have, many of them that are alive, more talent than a lot of the rappers that are on the scene today. That's just my point. And but anyway, getting off the rap thing, that'll be coming up at 10 a.m., so we look forward to that. I want to talk a little bit about this horrific tragedy that took place yesterday in California. We reported the breaking news yesterday as this Southern California high school, a kid 16 years old decided to go in there and just execute people. And sadly, he succeeded, killing a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old before attempting to take his own life. I'll get to that in a second. So now we're learning a little bit about this kid's father. And if you're wondering what his name has been released, Nathaniel Burhow. Late father of this teen who, as I mentioned, killed two people. We're learning that it was his birthday and that his father was an avid hunter who used to make bullets, according to reports. That's right. Nathaniel Burhow stormed into the Saugus High School. This is in Santa Clarita, about 40 miles north of Los Angeles, my understanding. He did this right before class began yesterday. He used a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol before turning the gun on himself. It all lasted about 16 seconds. Police are saying that he has survived this self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head, and he's listed in grave condition. What a jackass. Okay? He goes in there trying to kill innocent people. Sadly, he did kill two people, and then he tries to kill himself, and he couldn't even do that right. And the shooter's father, Mark Burhow, he died in December 2017, authorities are saying, from cardiac arrest. And they're saying that a history of chronic alcoholism contributed to his death. Oh, what a shocker. You mean this kid didn't come from a stable family? Wow, I'm so shocked to hear that. And a former childhood friend of Burhow said that his dad, I know he used to make bullets, so I'm assuming he had guns and stuff like that. Sources in the L.A. County Sheriff's Department telling the L.A. Times that the elder Burhow was a hunter and owned several weapons. Apparently he hunted elk, and his son would sometimes tag along. Also, this person telling KTLA-TV that he believes the teen was the one who had found his father's body inside the house. So obviously that is a traumatic experience right there. 2 years before his death, the elder Burhow had been arrested over a domestic dispute with the boy's mother. So this kid is being raised by a father who is obviously a ridiculous alcoholic. The guy makes his own guns. He's a gun nut, and he's assaulting his mother. So I guess the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
And he was probably very, very intoxicated when he did assault his mother.
I don't know that. That would be speculation, but, one could believe that probably took place. In 2016, shortly before Mark Burhow died, the alleged shooter's mom sued him for custody of their children. So this is a really volatile situation. And I'm looking at a picture of this kid. Just looks like a normal 16-year-old, right? A normal 16-year-old, but define normal. Probably had mental illness, probably had some things taking after his dad. I think that is fair to make that assumption. But there are people in society, mainly people on the right, that think more guns are the answer here. Here is a gun-loving father who died a few years ago, who clearly was mentally ill, a severe alcoholic. He's a wife beater. And he taught his son how to shoot weapons. He made his own bullets. In a way, there are some, I guess you could say, comparisons to the Connecticut shooting. Now, we know in the Connecticut shooting, that young guy was completely out of his mind, nuts. But the mother taught him how to shoot a weapon. Now you have a father who's mentally ill, who's a wife beater, who's an alcoholic, who's teaching his son how to use weapons, and you have somebody who has all these issues that is making bullets and is a gun lover. This is exactly why we need to have red flag laws on the books. There should not have been a gun in that household. This young man should have never even learned how to shoot a weapon, and there's no question in my eyes that this .45, I'm sure his father gave it to him probably several years ago. And if those red flag laws were on the books,
well,
would this kid have been able to get his hands on a weapon?
You know, if he hunted, then obviously, I'm sure if he was a part of these hunting trips, I'm sure he had a gun or two given to him by his father. So you're saying that the red flag law should apply to alcoholics, or which part of this story do you think would make the red flag law tip off?
If you are arrested,
the assault on the mother, or the fact that he is an alcoholic or he died of alcoholism.
Well, if you are arrested and charged with domestic abuse, that is a red flag right there. If you have those type of anger issues where there is overwhelming evidence and you are actually charged with domestic abuse and you put your hands on a woman, you are the type of person that should never be allowed to carry a firearm. So that's number one. Number two, when we talk about alcoholism and substance abuse, if you have those...
So if you're in, well, let's say that you admit to substance abuse and you're in AA, should you not own a gun?
Well, that's what I was getting to. I was finishing my answer. So if you have substance abuse and drug issues, there are so many different levels, right? There's so many different levels of those types of problems. I think if you're trying to get help and you have no history of committing a crime, so you could be an alcoholic, but there's nothing there's nothing illegal about getting drunk every night in your own home.
Exactly. And a lot of guys who hunt, they tend to drink.
Now, if you're getting drunk every night in your own home, or even in public, but you've never been arrested, you've never committed a crime, then I don't think that red flag law would apply to you, especially if you're trying to get help.
Well,
but in this case with the father, that does not apply.
Well, yeah, because there was one particular instance, right? Just the one domestic assault with his wife?
My understanding,
or was there more than that?
My understanding is that he does have a rap sheet that it did not, it was not domestic violence. There was one issue there, but there were other issues where police are called to this father's home, and he does have a rap sheet. He has a history. So this wasn't the first time that he broke the law, is what I'm trying to say. That red flag law should have applied to that father. And everybody that calls in that says, oh, well, look, we have all these gun laws in California. You can't do this, you can't do that. Really? Then why don't you all explain to me why this nut job was allowed to make his own bullets and carry weapons? Please explain that to me. Now, look, there are a lot of issues, right? We talk about this all the time. There's not one issue. There's not one specific issue that'll end these types of shootings, particularly these school shootings. But, Mike Pence decides to go on Twitter yesterday, and Mike Pence put out a tweet. Of course, it's the normal gun control thing that he says. It's normal stuff when it's with Mike Pence and when it's involved with gun control. It's usually the same thing. He starts off with thoughts and prayers on his Twitter account yesterday, and I told you he would do this. And then he said that he's working with the president to make sure these school shootings never happen again.
In this Burhouse, the older he was actually an engineer for a healthcare company, Brian. Mm-hmm. He had one particular instance. There wasn't a rap sheet here. He wasn't an A, but then what he do is say you're an alcoholic. I mean, is the government going to screen the amount of times that you use your credit card at a liquor store?
I'll get to that, but let me just finish my thought on Mike Pence, because I was talking about Mike Pence and what he did on what he said on Twitter. Then we'll get back to that. The reason why I was bringing up Mike Pence is because Pence goes on Twitter yesterday and he says, myself and the President of the United States, we're doing everything we can to make sure these shootings never happen again. Good old Mike Pence with an A rating from the NRA, Mr. Gun Lover himself. He has done more to try to prevent homosexuals from getting married than he has on these school shootings. That is, without a question, He cares more about homosexuality than he does about these school shootings. And how do I make that statement? Because it shows in his voting record. What type of gun legislation has he tried to put in place? Nothing. Zero. Mike Pence, you are a disgrace. You are a disgrace to this country. And then he goes on his stupid Twitter page and says thoughts and prayers again, like the true coward that he is. You know what gets Mike Pence angry more than anything? It's not school shootings. It's not a 16 and a 14-year-old two innocent kids losing their lives. You know what gets Mike Pence angry more than anything? Two men getting married or two women getting married. That really gets his socks off, Mike Pence.
Now that's a gross assumption.
You know what gets him really upset? God forbid if a man is speaking to his wife in a room and he's not present. That will drive him nuts. But what has Mike Pence done to actually prevent these shootings from happening? The answer is nothing. There is stuff right now on Mitch McConnell's desk. Okay? The useless turtle. There is stuff on his desk right now that can be put into Congress and passed through legislation. It's sitting on his desk and nothing is being done. The number to call 257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. JD, what were you saying about this father's past?
Well, he's got a couple of DUIs. He was an engineer at a healthcare company. He had the one domestic abuse against his mother, but no charges were actually filed in that situation. I'm not sure his father would apply for red flag laws. That's what I'm getting at. He wasn't a part of AA. He was a very, he drank a lot. I would say probably 80% of hunters in a state like Wyoming drink a lot.
I find it very puzzling and very absurd that
I
he's allowed.
I wouldn't call him a nut job. He was definitely an alcoholic and alcoholics do stupid things like potentially put their hands on their wives. But again, there's no charges filed. So I imagine that she didn't have a lot of, wounds or bruises from that particular situation. I think that if you want to say that this guy, I don't think that this is avoidable. I don't think that that even if red flag laws were implemented, that you could get a guy like this, unless you looked at his history of purchasing liquor. I don't think that. I don't think that a red flag law that we're talking about instituting could actually prevent this guy from owning a gun, much less making bullets, considering what I see in his rap sheet.
I think if you have several DUIs, you're already putting everyone else at risk in society. I actually believe a DUI is a very serious crime, and I believe it shows that you are reckless, that you have reckless behavior. Can people change? Absolutely. But if you want access to a gun and you get a DUI, the type of person that gets several DUIs out there, to me, is not responsible enough to own a weapon. That is my personal opinion.
So then red flag law, if you have a couple of DUIs, if you have a domestic charge, you cannot own a gun.
Well, forget about the domestic charge. Forget about that for a second. I'm just talking about DUIs.
Okay, so if you have a couple of DUIs, you cannot own a gun.
I'm saying if you get a DUI, okay, and you don't go to AAA and you don't try to get help, and you get another DUI, yes, I want that. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't own a gun for the rest of his life. Certainly in this case, I wish that was the case. It could have saved 2 lives that were lost yesterday. So I think in this specific situation, I'm probably right based on the evidence. We know how this kid got the gun. Come on, let's be honest here. 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call, 257-5396. What do you make of all this? Let's go to Edward. Edward, I don't know how we prevent these things from happening. I think there's several different things we could discuss. What do you make of all this?
Well, if someone is drunk in the car and they have a gun in the car, that's a crime, and people have been charged with that. But a lot of stuff's more local. Now, take Floyd Mayweather. He had domestic violence conviction, and he's over on the internet in Chechnya shooting a machine gun.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
Are global. They affect you everywhere in the world.
Edward, I don't agree with that. Floyd, in my...
Why doesn't the Wilson...
I agree. Edward, make no mistake about it. I agree. I think...
Get Wilson, the DA, on sometime if you can to discuss this gun law and red flag stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe he could ask why he doesn't charge Mayweather with having a machine gun after domestic violence.
I agree, and that's a good point, Edward. I don't think somebody like Floyd Mayweather should be allowed to own a gun. Now, he's got plenty of guards that carry. Why does he have to carry? I agree. If you are charged and found guilty of domestic violence, I don't think you should ever be allowed to carry a gun the rest of your life. Let me be very clear on that. I couldn't be more clear on that. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Wayne. Wayne, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
Hey, so I listen to you a lot. Don't always agree with you, but, you bring up some good points. But that's the problem with red flag laws. Once we start hitting people, sorry, I got COPD, so
That's
bear
okay.
with me.
That's okay. Take your time.
Once we start hitting people with, oh, you're drinking. Okay, so now you can't have a gun. Then next thing it might be, oh, you're a consistent speeder. You're endangering people's lives. You can't have a gun.
No, I didn't say that. I would never
I know
say
you
that.
haven't
Yeah.
said that, but that's where it goes down to.
I don't think
Once
so. I
we
think
start finding pet peeves for why people shouldn't have guns.
Okay, well, Wayne, I
go
don't
ahead.
I don't consider putting your hand on a woman a pet peeve, and I also don't consider getting into your car, in this case on multiple occasions, and driving drunk and risking other people's lives at your own stupidity. I don't consider that a pet peeve. Now, if you're going 5 miles over the speed limit, absolutely, that is a pet peeve. But we're talking about two different things, Wayne.
And we don't know what the specific details of a DUI were. We don't know if he was going 20 over or 5 over. If he was just in the wrong part of town.
Bottom line is he was drunk while getting into a vehicle.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
He was definitely operating a motor vehicle under the influence.
And that's all I care
but
about.
But does that mean that he shouldn't own a gun? If it does, I don't think that any red flag law that comes out is going to have that under the umbrella. And I don't think that this guy or this. I think that you're comparing the situation to the one in Florida where the kid had the police show up at his home 90 times.
That's a different situation. I haven't brought that up.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't think this is necessarily avoidable at all, Brian.
I think it could be.
Even with red flag laws, unless they were extremely stringent and basically infringing on our constitutional rights as human beings, I don't think that this was avoidable. I don't think that you
driving
could have
a
prevented
car to me, driving a car is a privilege, and when you decide to get into the car and you are drunk, that is a choice that you are making at putting everybody's life at risk, including yourself. Now, I have friends. We've had people on this show that have had DUIs before, and they know how I feel about this. Owning a gun should be a privilege, just like getting into a car and driving it is
It's
a
in our
privilege.
Constitution. We are allowed. It's our right to have a gun.
It is definitely
and I
right.
hear you guys talk about, we don't need these automatic assault weapons. The reality is, we don't have these guns for hunting and sports shooting. We were given these guns to protect
Let me ask
ourselves
yourself a question
from
then,
the
Wayne.
government.
All right, let me ask you a question then, Wayne. Back when I was in high school, elementary school, we didn't have these school shootings. They weren't happening. Explain to me why they're happening now.
All right. Well, here's what I believe. If you go to parts in the country, let's say South Central LA, Crenshaw, lots of guns there. But we don't have school shootings there. Why? You get mouthy with some dude there, they're going to smack the crap out of you. We've become so civilized. Oh, my God. He won't talk to me. I better run to the teacher. And now we
Wait, hold on a second. You're saying in Crenshaw, if you mouth off to a gang member, you don't think you could be shot? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I am saying that in these places, laying on of hands amongst each other seems to be a little bit more prevalent. And where you have that, where a guy doesn't run his mouth.
I don't understand what you're saying, though. Gun violence is
like this.
Gun violence is at the highest point it's ever been at. Gun violence. I don't understand what are you trying to say here? I disagree with you. Name me another time.
He's saying in very, very, very violent areas like South Central Los Angeles, where Crenshaw High School is, there isn't a school shooting there. Why is there not a school shooting there, despite the fact that presumably there's a lot of guns around that area? But most likely they're not going to be assault weapons unless they're owned by the gangs.
All right. Well, listen, Wayne, I do appreciate the phone call. Don't pass out on us. I hope you're okay.
Thanks for the call, Wayne. Appreciate it.
You're a little out of breath there. Take a breather, my friend. But I appreciate you calling in. The number to call 257-5396. This isn't an easy subject. I think a good correlation and a point that I try to make for those of you that support Mike Pence, his voting record speaks for itself. He cares more about what he calls, homosexuality, what we would call homosexuality. He has done more to try to ban gay marriage than gun violence. Just look at his voting record. It shows that. And I'm sorry, folks, there's something wrong with that. I have a problem with that. Now, we could talk about mental illness. We could talk about red flag laws. We could talk about the guns that are being sold on the streets. There's a lot of different avenues where we could take this conversation. But again, some of our politicians, particularly many on the right, care more about, we talked about it yesterday, about the Christmas tree being called the holiday tree and Thanksgiving being called Bible Week. There are some people on the right that are ultra religious that care more about these issues and banning abortion than they do about gun violence in this country. I have a serious problem with that, and I always have. This is a huge problem in society, and I am not just talking about mass shootings. I am talking about gun violence as a whole, a serious problem in the society. I haven't spoken to one Democrat that says, oh, they want to take away our Second Amendment. They want to take away all their guns. That is a right-wing talking point. I have never spoken to one Democrat that thinks that. Now, yes, Beto O'Rourke is the extreme, and he wants to take assault weapons away from you. That's never going to happen. We need red flag laws put in place. We need to do a better job with checking the mentally ill and making sure they are not equipped to buy a weapon. And then we can talk about ammunition, and then we can talk about AR-15s and some of these assault weapons that are being used in many of these mass shootings, just like what happened in our backyard in Las Vegas when 58 people lost their lives at the Route 91 festival. Just like we talk about Walmart, the shooting that kid walks in there and kills 22 people. I don't want those guns on the streets. I don't want those guns being sold to anybody. You could still defend yourself in your home. You don't need an assault weapon to do it. Period. What would have happened if this kid walked in there with an AR-15 yesterday? You think 2 people would have died, or do you think 20 people would have died? I think it's a pretty easy answer.
Yeah, 10 at least.
At least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God that he didn't have an assault weapon. Thank God.
Well, and let's say that you hunt with an assault weapon like this guy's father did. What if his father was using we'll call it an AR-15 to kill animals? You can't even eat the meat at that point. That the animals are so mangled, and I would consider it cheating to use a weapon like that to hunt with. So does the average person in society need a weapon like that? Absolutely not. It's a military-grade weapon.
Sadly,
period.
I agree. Sadly, this isn't going away, folks. When's the next school shooting going to happen? Sadly, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think.
Well, I think one's going to happen, but this was not avoidable. I don't believe it was avoidable.
And we are going to continue this conversation, of course. I would like to come up with solutions. I just don't have them all. Unfortunately, I wish I did. All right, we'd like to take care of our listeners here on this show, so I do have a giveaway right now. If you're 5th caller right now, you're going to win a pair of Lee's Discount Liquor tickets, the 17th Annual Wine Experience. It features over 1,000 wines from around the world at the Thomas & Mack Center. This is this Saturday, November 16th. If you're the 5th caller right now, pretty much it's an open bar. You must be 21 or over because we're not going to give tickets out to anyone who's not legally allowed to drink. But if you are the 5th caller right now, 702-257-5396. Again, the 5th caller right now at 257-5396. I am going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to Lee's Discount Liquor's 17th Annual Wine Experience, again, featuring over 1,000 wines. It is cool stuff, man, as long as you drink responsibly. We don't want you getting into your car, getting tanked after one of these things. But 5th caller right now, you will win these tickets at 257-5396. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with John Schaefer in the news and also the MAGA Challenge. What's that all about? I'll explain coming up next. You're listening to The Vegas Take.
Hi, it's Sam.
Hey, it's Ash, and we're Sam and Ash, your personal injury attorneys.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't talk to an insurance agent or claims adjuster. Talk to us.
Look, the insurance company's job is to deny your injuries because paying you what's fair costs them money.
We will get you the compensation you deserve. It's what's right.
So call us 24/7 at 1-800-304-2000 or visit samandash.com.
1-800-304-2000, samandash.com. Sam and Ash.
What's right?
I feel great. The kind of great you feel when you luck into a parking spot right up front. The kind of great when you score one of those jumbo-sized candy bars at Trick or Treat. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress, and you can feel great too. Here's how. Right now at the Best Mattress Veterans Day sale, save up to $800 on the brands you know and trust. Serta, Sealy, Beautyrest, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. And 72 months no interest financing. Feeling great already, aren't you? Best Mattress, home of the 120-day Sleep Easy guarantee. See store for details.
Hey, it's Lee Goldberg of the GCI guys at Realty One Group. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, rent, move from California? If so, give them my number, 702-902-3029. All listeners of the Vegas Take get $1,000 in your hand back at closing. Hometown heroes, veteran, military, police, teacher, nurse, I'm giving you $2,000 back. That also goes for hospitality and casino employees. Free use of a moving truck for a day, 6 free months of home security. Call me, 702-902-3029, the GCI guys.
Join Coach Harvey Hyde and Chuck Hayes Saturday evenings from 9 to 10 p.m. for Trojan Football Report, presented by South Point Hotel and Casino, here on 101.5 FM and 720 AM KDWN, where Las Vegas comes to talk.
Tina Trenner is back, and she's on 720 AM 101.5 FM KDWN every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. She's sick of the nonsense and has something to say every Sunday at 12:30 p.m.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Kilmeade, Hannity, Levin. 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN Las Vegas. A Beasley Media Group station.
I'm Mike Moss. Another community marred by another school shooting. Correspondent Jim Roop reports the investigation continues into why.
Los Angeles County Sheriff's investigators, the FBI, the ATF, the familiar unified investigative group we now regularly see at these scenes. It was early Thursday morning, about 7:38, when a 16-year-old used a semi-automatic pistol to shoot 5 schoolmates, killing 2 before shooting himself.
At that moment, I just prayed and prayed.
Students ran into classrooms, behind buildings, into neighborhoods and strangers' homes. With the alleged shooter in critical condition, the investigation into why now has also begun. Jim Roop, Los Angeles.
Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett has been suspended for at least the rest of the regular season and postseason by the NFL for swinging a helmet and striking Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph in the head at the end of last night's game. On Wall Street, the Dow up 142, S&P up 17. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDWN Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Pardee Homes. An accident reported on the 215 Southern Beltway westbound Decatur. Vehicles off to the right. Traffic slow from I-15. Slowing I-15 northbound, Tropicana to Sahara and southbound delay Sahara to Russell. On the 95, northbound expect slowing eastern to the Spaghetti Bowl. A nice recovery is underway from the rush hour. On the surface streets, a crash injury sustained reported Jones Boulevard at Wigwam. Watch for police and fire at the scene. Get smart buy savings on move-in ready homes valley-wide from the high 200,000s at PardeeSmart.com. Pardee Homes is an equal opportunity housing builder. Nevada Contractors License Number 36338. John Michaels from the KDWN Traffic Center.
For more than a year, the whole of Vermont was captivated by the hunt for a runaway golden retriever. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press. Available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDWN.
Hey, Chuck, I saw on CNN that over 40% of the American population can't cover a $400 emergency expense. Is that true?
The bad news, yes, 100% true. The good news, this is exactly the group of folks we welcome every day at Dollar Loan Center. I can't tell you how many times I've told the critics of our industry to simply walk into a bank and try to borrow a couple $1,000s. Most banks won't even take your application, Craig. We get it at Dollar Loan Center. We're here for you, the real people in Nevada who run into a pinch every now and then.
That was Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center, where you can get up to $5,000 in just minutes and have up to a year to pay it back, even if you don't have a checking account. We have over 50 locations, and our friendly Dollar Loan Center staff are ready to help. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
Hi, it's Sam.
Hey, it's Ash, and we're Sam and Ash, your personal injury attorneys.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't rely on your insurance agent to help you.
Your agent and claims adjuster are not going to get you the treatment or compensation that you deserve for your injuries.
That's what we do. We craft an effective plan of action to get you the help you need.
Also, you deserve to be heard, and most of all, you deserve what's right.
So, give us a call 24/7 at 1-800-304-2000 or visit samandash.com. Sam and Ash.
What's right?
Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, taking Nevadans to Capitol Hill for the latest on the federal issues that matter most to you.
Eye on Washington, Saturday morning at 9:30 on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Hi, I'm Raymond Denon, Vice President of Optima Tax Relief. If you're in debt to the IRS, there's a lot you need to know. Starting with rule number 1, don't mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
720 on the AM, 101.5 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, rolling out hour number 2, baby. Glad you could join us. Coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to be hearing from some of these rappers. It's the MAGA Challenge. We're going to do a little voting on it. That'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. Poker pro Danny Negreanu, also a Canadian, eh? He's going to be talking a little bit about this Don Cherry situation, this broadcaster that was fired. He's got some strong opinions on that. The guys from Human Nature will be coming in hour number 3. But right now, it is time for the news with John Schaefer. John, what's going on?
Well, Roger Stone, a longtime friend and ally of President Trump, has been found guilty at his trial in federal court in Washington. He was convicted today. He was charged in a 7-count indictment that alleged he lied to lawmakers about WikiLeaks, tampered with witnesses, and obstructed a House Intelligence Committee probe.
I just heard Donald Trump. I heard he said he might have some pictures with Roger Stone, but other than that, he doesn't know who he is. Yes, I think that's what he said.
Well, President Trump is attacking a witness in the House Democrats' impeachment inquiry while she is testifying before lawmakers. Trump tweets that everywhere that former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, went turned bad. Noting her postings in the Foreign Service, Trump says she started off in Somalia. How did that go? Trump says he has the absolute right to appoint ambassadors. Yovanovitch, a career Foreign Service officer with a solid reputation, she testified today that she was the victim of a campaign of disinformation that used unofficial back channels, leading to her removal from Ukraine.
It doesn't matter who is testifying. It could be a member of Donald Trump's family. If anyone testifies and says anything that could shed light and make Donald Trump look bad, he is going to go after them. This is what he does. He does it for a living. Soon he is going to turn on Rudy Giuliani. It is just a matter of time.
The original Las Vegas Hard Rock Cafe is about to become a thing of the past. The restaurant at the corner of Paradise and Harmon closed back in 2016. Next week, demolition of the building will begin. The 82-foot-tall neon guitar that once stood outside has been moved to the Neon Museum. The Hard Rock Hotel will be rebranded the Virgin Hotel Las Vegas. That original Hard Rock opened back in 1990.
One of my favorite comedies of all time, Con Air. If you notice at the end of that movie, that guitar is actually highlighted in that movie.
I know.
I'm going to miss seeing that guitar.
And it's moved to the Strip where it's not even located.
Yeah, exactly. The end of that movie. If you're into geography, the end of that movie, Con Air, with the plane crash, is a little unrealistic.
What type of demolition will it be?
I'm guessing it'll just be a bulldozer. Right? It's not a big enough building to have a giant implosion and celebration.
No.
Okay.
No, and rightfully so, there shouldn't be, because the food there has always been horrible.
And is there a date for Virgin to reopen?
Next fall.
Next fall?
Did you say you had a date with a virgin?
Next fall.
Oh, okay. I thought that next fall. Okay. All right, go ahead, John.
According to U.S. Census estimates, 141,000 people moved in Nevada from July 2017 to July 2018, and not surprisingly, 50,000 of them were from California. Nearly 4 in 10 people who moved to the Silver State are from California, making it the #1 state for people who relocate to Nevada. In fact, there are now more people living in Nevada who were born in California than there are people who were born in Nevada.
There you go. There you go.
I believe that. Absolutely.
Do you believe that? Yeah.
Honestly, I think there's more like 4,000 to 5,000 moving to Vegas every single week. The DMVs are completely packed. Traffic's gotten a lot worse. I think Vegas is exploding population-wise. I'd like to actually get some good metrics on that.
Mr. Schaefer, thank you so much for the news, my friend. What do you got going this weekend before we let you go? Anything exciting?
Penn State football, 9 o'clock tomorrow, Indiana.
Stupid question. When was the last time you actually missed a Penn State football game?
Very good question, Brian.
I missed most of the Michigan State game this year because I was away.
Wow, that must have been tough on you. That must have been difficult.
And I'm going to be away next weekend, so it's going to be hit or miss whether or not I get the Ohio State game because that's at 9 in the morning also.
To you, that must have been like missing a family member's funeral.
You have to watch that game.
I know. I'll find somewhere to watch.
You can't miss that game.
Right.
All right, Mr. Schaefer, appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks a lot, John.
Here's what we're going to do when we come back. It's called the MAGA Challenge. That's right. Donald Trump is calling on all people to form a video of a rap in regards to Donald Trump. Of course, shedding him in a positive light. We have some audio of some of that. The winner actually goes to the White House. We're going to play a few of those for you, and we're going to vote on who we think is the best. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever, 99 cents, plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pods sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We are saying farewell to Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and moving to Saturdays at 11 a.m. Please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
O'Reilly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for our See Better, Drive Safer sale. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase a pair of Bosch Focus or Trico Titan wiper blades. We'll even install them for free. Plus, you'll earn double O Rewards points. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
So there's this guy named Jordan, and he's a healthy guy. He's a dad of 6, and he works as a guide in Alaska. But then he goes to the doctor, and he's diagnosed with cancer, stage 4. And here's the thing. He had switched from medical insurance to MediShare, which is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry. So the question for Jordan and his wife, Jenny, was, is this really going to work?
Our medical bills exceeded $160,000. MediShare members shared all our bills.
And it was about more than just the money, too. This is a real community.
MediShare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life. I just don't know how I could have done it without MediShare.
It's so worth looking into. There's a reason this is growing so fast. If you want to find out more, here's a number for you. 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Thank you, Joe Biden. Welcome back. It is
Joe the Genius.
The Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Friday. Coming up in just a few minutes,
I like the song, Johnny.
Coming up in just a few minutes, Negreanu will be joining us. So Donald Trump, the White House released a press release, and they're calling on all of his supporters they're calling it the MAGA Challenge. They want everybody to rap. Now, what it is make a rap about Donald Trump in a positive light. You don't want to rap about him and call him a scumbag or a cheater. That's something I would do. But if you make some sort of rap, the winner wins a trip to the White House. Now, I would make the argument that he's probably trying to get the black vote by doing this. Right? He's probably trying to get the minority vote. I think that is a fair assessment of why Donald Trump would do this. It's not like Donald Trump went out today and said, hey, I want all my fans to make a country music song. No, he's trying to get the African-American vote. So joining us.
This is his strategy?
Can I introduce you first before you start talking?
Okay.
God.
All right.
Man. Anyway, that is the voice of Campaign. He happens to be an African-American, and the reason why I wanted him in studio, well, I always want you in studio, Campaign, but I particularly wanted you on the air because I think this is a fair assessment. Most African-Americans are more experienced and know a little bit more about the rap industry and rap music than somebody like myself would. Do you think that is a fair statement?
Campaign, would that be considered a stereotype?
It's a fair statement, but also a stereotype.
Okay, so
it can't be both.
So it's a hybrid. It applies under both.
No, it can't be both. Can it be a fair statement?
If I didn't have my coffee,
fine.
I would take offense to it. You know what I'm saying? But I had coffee today, so you know what?
Then I would say screw you if you're offended to that because it's still true, right? Okay. All right. Fine.
That being said, I'm not going to lie. This is actually a very good idea for Trump to try to make it look like going to the White House is cool. I have to respect it, and obviously it is a bit of a pandering move to get the African-American vote as well.
And I just have to interject this. As I was coming up, going to the White House was like this, it was like this prestigious things. But now since we can do a rap to get up there, you go in there.
Well, what do you think? Let's give this a shot.
Okay.
So I want everybody to vote on this. We have our producer, Jason Stein, in studio. Of course, Sharp is here. Campaign, if you're wondering who he is, besides being African-American, he is actually does a very good job of putting together our video content on YouTube. So I wanted to...
The live stream that you see, and if you looked at it right now, Campaign is the one that controls all that.
That's right. He does a very good job doing that. Okay, so we're all going to vote on this. We've taken several samples of these MAGA raps, and we are going to start with this first person right here. Do we have a name for this person? There's no names here. Okay, so we're going to call this contestant number 1.
There you go.
Okay,
how original, Brian.
So this is contestant. Well, what would you like to call this person?
Who cares who they are? Who cares?
MAGA moron? I mean, what do you want me to... who cares?
Contestant number 1.
All right, so...
I was thinking Trump supporter.
Here is contestant number 1. Here we go.
This is a rap about a MAGA hat. The one that always taken by a Democrats.
That's very creative.
Always take.
Trump's policies are so grand.
I can't take this.
Watching the economy expand.
Okay.
So take your friends to a MAGA crowd where the love of freedom is found. Let them conform to the Trump plan. Ask that Glenn Beck, he's now a MAGA man.
You sound very white. All right, I don't need to hear anymore. This is ridiculous. We have like another minute of this. This is just the worst. Okay, so I shouldn't make those comments. I should go to the voting first, and then I'll be last.
Come on,
okay,
Brian.
Let's start with Campaign. On a scale 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What would you give this MAGA person?
I'm gonna give her a 3.
That's not very good.
Let's say 5 is just average. 5,
So
and what
she's
artist?
definitely below average.
What artist would you consider average right now? So let's have a scale.
I would say average is 5.5 inches. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about something else. Okay. All right. So Campaign, you would give her a 3. JD, JD, you're next. What would you give MAGA hat?
She isn't a great lyricist, but I really like her. Her beat is solid. She's got good rhythm.
That's not her beat.
Her delivery is not great either. I'd give her a 6. I do like her content.
You sound like Simon Cowell. You're coming up with excuses to give her a good. All right.
I'm judging, Brian.
Okay.
Let me judge.
So you gave her a 6.
I gave her a 6. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Stein.
That's a 1. That is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
I'm going to go
Every
ahead.
way.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give her a 0. Am I allowed to do that?
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm going to give her a 0. All right. Okay. Let's go to the next contestant. Let's go to contestant number 2.
Hey, they saying you that MAGA boy. Call me what you want, cause it don't matter, boy. I
I just speak the truth, that's something they don't understand. Why these white liberals trying to tell me who I am? Don't put me in groups cause I'm my own man. I said I wasn't Democrat and lost a few friends. Radio stopped playing me, I lost a few fans. But tell me I'm a victim, put the power in my hands. I am not a victim, I am not oppressed. They keep taking shots, so I might just buy a vest. They said no with my MAGA hat, I told them say less. I bought the biggest MAGA hat, I did it just to flex. Wear it every day just to make them boys upset. I can't be controlled by nobody or a check. They call me a coon, I'm not impressed. They don't like the truth, so the least they gon' suppress.
Wait, did he just say the word coon?
Are you allowed to? You didn't knock that out, Johnny? I hate you.
He said it.
In his lyrics, he said, they call me a coon, I'm not impressed. Wow.
That's a political statement.
Yeah, no. Okay, I'm not going to make any comments till the end. Let's go to campaign. What would you give that, 1 to 10?
I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it a 7 because the
That's
beat.
not bad.
The beat carried it. The beat was hard and stuff, and most of the time, you can't understand most rappers, these new rappers anyways, and you just listen to the beat anyways. So
okay.
I'm giving it a 7. I think it could be played on the radio.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay. JD, you're next.
He kind of actually sounded like Drake a little bit. I give him a firm 9.
That's pretty
That was
good.
outstanding.
All right, Stein?
I'm going with an 8. We were all in here bobbing our heads,
Yep.
and I agree that could be a radio hit. That guy's actually got talent.
He does have ability.
And he had something to say.
I'm going to give it an 8. I thought I'm going to give it even a higher grade than campaign. That was actually a real rapper.
Yeah.
She actually
Too good. Too good.
That actually sounded like a professional recording artist.
Yes.
So I am going to give him an 8. That was actually really,
and after
really
listening
good.
to that, I have to change my first one to a 4.
No, you can't do that. You made the mistake.
Well, in my brain, I've done that.
No, well,
I'm letting the audience know that the first one I gave a 6. That's now a 4.
What do you think would happen if they did that on American Idol?
She gets a demotion.
Well, you know what? Simon Cowell just gave that person a bad grade, but since that next performer was so good, we're going to lower that. You can't do that. That's not fair.
Okay,
You got to judge him in a vacuum.
I understand why you would say that because he was so good.
Right.
But
Okay, so what was that song catchier than that Nas X song?
then the what song? I don't even know.
Not
What
the cowboy did not say.
Yeah.
Well, it's a country rap
Yeah,
song.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town
I think
road.
that if that song was on radio, it could be the equivalent of that. I
mean,
think so.
I don't know what song you're talking about, but if
Right,
JD
Old
is
Time Road.
can't
Old Time
no
Road.
more.
Okay.
that
Yeah,
sounds
JD.
awful.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't ever do
I
that.
thought that guy did a pretty good job.
Yes.
Okay, so we all agree. Those were some really good grades. All right.
Yeah.
So let's now go to contestant 3.
I'm a MAGA kid. I'm a MAGA kid.
Whoa.
I'm here to blow the liberals' list. School shootings, pedophiles, and vaccines. Today it is really hard to be a teen. Now listen up, Greta. This message is for you. We are warriors of God, and we're praying for you. How dare you? How dare you? Spread fear with your ego, but the truth is where we go. Our human rights come from God, not government. Brainwashed puppet, you were sent. You liberals
I'm
asked.
brainwashed.
Really, really strange, but MAGA kids are now in the game. Unity and peace is our prize. We hold our president way up high. Like an eagle, we will take flight. In God we trust. MAGA kids fight. In God we trust. MAGA kids fight.
Oh my God, I need some aspirin. All right, I shouldn't influence the judges. I'm sorry. I mean, she was wonderful. All right, let's go to campaign. Campaign. What would you give on a scale 1 to 10 to that one?
She was horrible, but I know some guys that probably would date her. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
So
giving
you're
her,
saying you're going to give her a better grade because you know gentlemen that would have sex with her. Is that what you're saying?
I think she's needy and she wants attention. And so that's just my opinion and stuff. But
You're saying
I'm
that
gonna
without even knowing what she looks like.
yes, it wouldn't matter. What's her credit score? Anyways, no, let's give her. I'm giving her a 2. I'm giving her a 2.
Wow,
Yeah.
really? You're giving her a lower score
She's horrible.
than the first girl. Okay, all right, fine.
Do we know how old this girl is?
No idea.
Well, she said being a teen is hard.
Yeah, I think she's like 15,
She could be anywhere
16 years
from-
old.
Being somebody without any talent, musical ability is also very hard.
So
All right, go ahead.
campaign, the whole date thing, considering her age, may be a questionable thing to say.
Well, I can't take it back now. You just
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, campaign. You're saying your friends would date a 13-year-old? What are you talking about?
I give her.
Campaign's got a bunch of pedophile friends. apparently.
I like her passion. Her lyrics were fine, but she's just really poor delivery.
Where's Chris Hansen?
Screaming up and down.
Where's Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC, when we need him? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give her a 3.
What was going to happen?
I think that's fair. 3 is fair. All right. So JD just gave her a 3. Stein, you are next.
2, slightly better than the first one, but way below contestant number 2.
See, I agree. I think she was actually better than contestant number 1, not because her ability, but because her lyrics were better and they were funnier.
I thought she was
contestant
more...
1 had much more consistent rhythm. This girl was all over the place.
No, I like this girl's rhythm.
Now you're discrediting my voting ability. You're doing the same thing to me that I did
hey,
to you.
You don't like rap music, Brian. So that already
What are
dropped
you
yourself.
talking about?
You dropped yourself
What
before
are you
this
talking
even
about?
happened.
That is okay. Campaign, help me out here. Contestant number 2, I gave him an 8.
Yes.
I was bobbing my head. I enjoyed it.
It was great. I gave it a 9.
Okay, so what are you saying? I don't appreciate good rap. You don't think I appreciate good rap? I appreciate good rap when I see it or hear it. I should say.
I think that everybody has their own particular thing. You know what I'm saying? I think you do appreciate some good rappers. I think some of your rock music people are questionable. The bands that you like. No, seriously. You like a lot of stuff that is eclectic. Your taste is eclectic. That's what I'm going to say. Eclectic taste.
90s alternative rock. I don't think that's eclectic. Is it?
The bands that you pick. You don't pick the bands that are.
And we're like the mainstream ones.
Yeah, he gets like the
off the beaten path a little bit.
The B to B plus range.
Yeah.
Acts.
The ones that are easy to get on the air.
That right now are probably charging $5 to $20 grand a show.
That's not true. That's not true.
JD's.
The ones you can see at the state fair.
JD and Stein, I think that they're probably on the same wavelength of rock and stuff like that. But rap, no, you actually do have some pretty decent taste.
So, by a landslide, contestant number 2 won this.
I think so.
Yeah. Is it just fair to say that African Americans are just better rappers as a whole than
I
any other?
don't think that that's a.
Is that not a fair statement?
Politically correct statement?
What are they? Okay,
we took 3 videos. We did a sample.
We are.
We did. You have to understand. This is taking the internet by storm. There's hundreds of these videos out there.
I'm
going
to
to
tell
sample.
you right now.
The African American rapper happened to be
listen.
superior to the ones we chose.
I'm going to tell you this, guys, right now. I'm going to predict the future. There is absolutely no chance that Donald Trump picks a white person to win this contest. Zero chance. I guarantee you 100%. And I'm not saying they're not going to deserve it. I'm just saying Donald Trump is going to pick an African American.
Okay. Now, what if he does?
Go to the White House.
What if he does choose a Caucasian?
I don't think that's going to happen.
No
chance.
That would be horrible.
No chance.
Will you say that he's racist?
No, but I'm going to say no chance.
Well, it's like
he
always has African Americans behind him on stage.
You could have Eminem doing this, and he wouldn't pick Eminem.
You are putting him in a lose-lose situation. You say, on one hand, you're saying, oh, he's pandering to get the African American vote. On the other hand, if he chooses a Caucasian,
he's not going to choose a Caucasian.
Then suddenly he's racist towards African Americans.
I'll give you 2-to-1 odds right now if you want to bet me. I'll give you 2-to-1.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I think he's definitely going to choose an African American.
This is the question: we know he's going to pick a black guy, right? A black person. What?
It could be a girl. You're right.
What restaurant is going to get it from? If he goes to Popeyes, I'm storming.
You think he's going to serve Popeyes?
If he does, he's totally out of line.
He has a penchant for serving fast food at the White House.
And that's what I'm saying.
He's proud of it.
If he changes up, because it's been McDonald's and other stuff, if he changes up to Popeyes, all of a sudden
Popeyes,
he's racist.
If he gives 20 chicken sandwiches to whoever is coming to the White House, if that's what the meal is, it would be hard to argue that could probably be considered racist.
I want to play one more for you.
Or at least pandering through food based on a stereotype. By the way, that sandwich, I waited 20 minutes in line last night.
And
all right,
sandwich is amazing. The spicy one is amazing.
Oh man.
All right, let's play one more. I don't want to talk about Popeyes. Let's play one more just for fun, for giggles. All right, Johnny, go ahead.
We're gonna stand up, keep it real, let you know what's up. I voted for a man named Donald J. Trump. Cause when they play the anthem, I stand up. I know that half America will too. And we ain't scared of no Kim Jong-un. And if you voted for Hillary, that's cool. Ain't nobody here gonna hate on you. I just wanna keep my freedom, keep the kids in church. And I love it when our leader lets us know that it's America first. Put your hands up.
That's a white guy. That was a white guy,
I think he actually is white.
That was really good.
Now, is he sampling that Nas song?
Hold on a minute. Why is he a white guy?
Because I saw the video.
Okay.
He's a country
singer. He kind of sounded like Florida Georgia Line a little bit.
All right,
a little bit.
I thought that was a sample.
We don't have to vote on that, but I thought that guy did a pretty good job.
That was all right.
I thought that was pretty good.
I have no opinion on it.
What do you mean you have no opinion?
Because we look. You guys automatically say, "Oh, it's a white guy," and so, but he saw it.
Did I say that? I didn't say that. I thought it was a black guy.
I was going to say I thought it was a Caucasian as well.
I didn't know that.
That was a 10 to me.
I don't care what the
Of
color
course it was going to be a 10 to
That
you.
was outstanding.
Of course it was
That
going to be
has nothing to do with that.
It was just sonically.
It was just very, very good.
He sonically felt it.
But I think that there was a lot of money put behind that. Like there was some serious money put behind that particular.
He wants to win.
Recording.
He wants to go to the White House.
Right.
Why?
Obviously he's a fan. He wants to go. He wants to win, so he pulled out all the stops. I have a request, Brian.
Quickly, we only have about 30 seconds.
I know. Why don't you promote what's coming up, and then I want to ask Johnny, can he play us out with contestant number 1?
Okay, that's a very, very good
That's
idea.
perfect.
All right, so when we come back, he is a World Series of Poker champion. He's been the face of poker for the last 20 years for the most part. He also happens to be Canadian and a big hockey fan. I want to get his take on this Don Cherry situation, the guy that's been a hockey broadcaster for 50 years, who was just fired for controversial comments. You might be surprised what Daneal's opinion is on this, and he's actually changed my opinion on it. I'll explain exactly what that means coming up next. And, of course, we're also going to get into why he is such a Yang fan. He's part of the Yang gang. He is supporting Yang for president of the United States. It does have something to do with poker. Gosh, we might even get to a little bit of Vegas Golden Knights with him as well. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You are listening to the Vegas Take.
So grand. Watching the
Report House impeachment inquiry. President Trump attacked former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch on Twitter while she was testifying before the impeachment inquiry. Yovanovitch questioned by Democrat Adam Schiff.
It's very intimidating.
It's designed to intimidate, is it not?
I mean, I can't speak to what the president is trying to do, but I think the effect is to be intimidating.
Republicans have argued that Yovanovitch is not a material witness to the investigation. President Trump is reacting to news that his longtime friend and confidant Roger Stone has been convicted of lying to Congress and witness tampering just minutes after the jury handed down its verdict in federal court in D.C. Trump called Stone's conviction a double standard like never before seen in the history of our country. Stone could get as much as 20 years behind bars. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report, sponsored by Dispatch Health, expects slowing for the crash on the 215 Northern Beltway westbound near Durango. Also a crash on the 215 Southern Beltway westbound at I-15. And an injury accident reported on Valley View south of Las Vegas Expressway. A crash injury sustained at Flamingo westbound at the 215 Beltway with police and fire on scene. When you're sick, every minute counts. Go to dispatchhealth.com where high-quality medical care comes to you. Visit dispatchhealth.com to learn about medical professionals that make house calls. Dispatch Health, covered by most insurance. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Do you know if you have enough savings to retire comfortably? If not, it's time to talk to Travis Scribner, managing partner of Westpac Wealth Partners, about developing a plan to build your wealth for the future. Visit LasVegasMoneyResource.com.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777 or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team? And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people? Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
You want to be president of the United States, you need to be able to answer the tough questions.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Friday. So we know this has been a big controversy, right? Don Cherry, 50-year NHL commentator, fired for a rant, and a lot of people are talking about this, and we've been speaking about it all week. I figured, what better person to share his opinion on this? And he's been very opinionated, as he normally is, on social media. He is a 6-time World Series of Poker champion. He's been the face of poker for the last 20 years. He is also a Canadian, and he is a big hockey fan and extremely knowledgeable when it comes to hockey. So we're very glad to have Daneal Negreanu on the line with us right now. Daneal, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on to talk about this really kind of an important subject in a lot of ways.
It is, and every time we have you on, it seems like we talk about everything else but poker. That's why we enjoy having you on the show. All right, so I want to play the audio for you first, Daneal. I'm sure you've heard it already, but for our listeners, this is NHL commentator Don Cherry fired for this rant in his own words.
You people love you that come here, whatever it is. You love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. At least you could pay a couple of bucks for poppies or something like that.
Okay, so Daneal, my quick opinion on this is when he said "you people," that was really dumb. I thought what he should have said is everybody should be wearing these pins, everybody. So he singled out these immigrants, and I thought that was wrong. I thought he phrased it the wrong way, but my original reaction was, look, this guy's been doing this a long time. A suspension would have been okay. I thought a firing was a little bit harsh. What do you say?
So first of all, just using the term "you people," you could essentially say you people, you should all be wearing a poppy. What he said next is what was important. He said, you people that come here and like our milk and honey. So now when you say that, you're clearly pointing it towards immigrants. And I want to give a little background for those of your listeners who maybe don't understand what a poppy really is. In Canada, we have a tradition. I don't know if it was as popular here in the U.S., where around Remembrance Day or Veterans Day, everyone wears this little plastic or red poppy on their lapel, to sort of show support for the troops or what have you. Now, Don Cherry's comments went a little bit further. He went on to say something to the effect of, you go to the small towns over there, eh? And, you got rows and rows of them. Mississauga, forget about it. You go downtown, Greater Toronto, forget about it. Nobody's wearing them, right? So what's interesting about that is, in Canada, we are Toronto's the most multicultural city in the entire world. Downtown Toronto is the most multicultural. The small towns is where you have a much more dense, white Canadian population. So even with that, he's making another sort of attack, if you will, essentially on the patriotism of those that come to Canada, and feeling like they're un-Canadian because they're not wearing a little plastic doohickey, which, you can take that, obviously to him it's super important. And I want to say this first about Don Cherry, because I think it's important to look at both sides of this. How many of you have an uncle or a grandfather who's just so inappropriate?
Yeah, of course.
That you'd be like, what in the hell, man? You can't say that. 2019, bro. Right? So
everybody, yeah.
I have empathy for a guy that grew up in a world that barely exists and is struggling to adjust to kind of, the rapidly changing world in terms of, political correctness and different things like that. And this isn't really a PC issue. It's more it's way out of line what he said. Do I think that Don Cherry's an evil man? He does a lot of good, and that's what ultimately I get to is that humans are complicated, right? Your grandpa or your uncle who says all these outlandishly awful things. This isn't necessarily an evil man. It's just one who doesn't understand the depths of what they're saying in a lot of cases and how xenophobic or racist it could be. As for the suspension or firing, he had the opportunity to stay on, okay? So that's important to note. He could have apologized or, just mentioned that, my words were a little harsh. I meant what I meant. I meant it a little bit this way. He wasn't willing to do that. So they had no choice, really. Ron McLean, his partner, did come out and, make a, pretty serious apology that Don Cherry didn't like one bit. He was disappointed, he said. Mm-hmm. But Don is, he's old school. He's stubborn. He's like, I'm not going to bend over and be a little wimp and wussy. I'm going to say it how it is, and that's what I meant, and that's what I'm just saying. So So the fact that he did that, it was difficult. They put the network in a difficult position because the backlash was tremendous.
Right. So once he doubled down, he was definitely done. Now, do you think that maybe, let's say Norman Chad or Skip Bayless says something like this in the United States, do you think that they're asked to resign or that they get fired?
Oh, no, I think absolutely it would happen here as well. But it's important to know, too, like, who is this person? What is their history? And, Don Cherry's always had a history of doing this.
Yeah.
He mocks the French. He mocks the Europeans. He says the Russian players who come over, they're nothing. They're nothing, And listen, a lot of people look at him and he's like, this guy's Canadian through and through. He stands for Canada and screw everybody else, right? So there is a history of him doing that and saying things that are, well, for a lot of people, they feel like he should have been fired.
What about women? His comment on women, Daneal, quote, when you come to the games, keep your eyes on the puck. I'm telling you, I've seen some awful smacks, and it's always a woman yapping away there. Look at the game. So he's made some comments about women. He's made some comments about African Americans, left-wing pinkos. He's made that comment.
Well, I don't even, that's the one I have never heard is the African Americans. I've never really heard.
Well, he said when Ted Nolan didn't get the job, it was racism. It was racism. No, it wasn't racism. In speaking with minorities, he said, fair shake in life. Go out and get your own fair shake in life and work for it. Don't give me that stuff. Why wouldn't some kids feel like they haven't gotten a fair shake in life? Obviously, clearly, this guy doesn't understand what it is like to grow up in a poor family, struggling to get a job or possibly being a minority. He was talking about minorities in that statement.
Minorities for sure. I've never heard, because I've looked for it. I've never heard him, specifically target.
I misspoke. It wasn't necessarily African Americans, but he's speaking about minorities in general terms.
No question about it. Right. He's like an old school, oh, you good old Canadian boy here. Hey, oh, look at that scrap right there as a good old boy. But for me, I think it's more a question of like Canadian heritage pride rather than, because I've met the man, and the man was very kind, very cordial, very good with fans. He's always supported the troops, and he's supported youth hockey. And there's a lot of good here with this guy, right? But he's just like that. We live in a world too that, it's so divided, and he's obviously got significant right-wing leanings and things like that. But I think we do a better job of looking at people from more than just one side, which is what do they think politically? I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and how many more people I would like and be friends with if we just never even broach the subject of politics.
It's true.
And, Don
I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't have a job.
That's absolutely true. We would be unemployed.
Right. But I just mean, we do it so much in social media.
Oh, you're right.
It's so easy for one camp to just regurgitate talking points they heard on their news channel. And then the other camp do it, regurgitating their talking points. And nobody's listening to each other. Nobody's getting anywhere. Each of you are living in your own bubble. And it's just a complete waste of time for the most part, because you're not changing minds. I watch some of these guys that, everything Trump does, they're on Twitter within seconds. Don, I can't believe he did this. I'm like, why? Have you not been paying attention? I mean,
it's a pattern of behavior with Trump. So,
yeah, exactly.
So Justin Trudeau, he gets caught with blackface. The Prime Minister of Canada 20 years ago. He basically is. There's not an issue with that. But Don Cherry makes this comment, and he's asked to resign. Do you find hypocrisy in that?
Well, let me tell you, because this really hits home for me. Because when I was a kid, 12, 13 years old, most of my friends were black when I grew up Jamaican in Canada. And they put blackface on me to make me feel comfortable at the party as a joke and had me dancing and singing reggae. And I grew up in Canada feeling like this wasn't a big deal as much, and I didn't really understand, the heritage. So there's a video of me doing that probably 15 years ago as well, right? And it wasn't a case of me trying to mock blacks or be racist. It was simply an appreciation for Bob Marley and the culture, because I love Bob. So do I think there's hypocrisy? I'll tell you what, I think no, because if you watch what Justin Trudeau did, he came out and said, at the time I wasn't aware, but I really deeply understand the significance of what I did and how wrong it was, and it was not something I would do again. So he showed genuine, remorse, if you will, or an understanding. Or Don, unfortunately, because he's 85, hey, I ain't gonna apologize for nothing. I meant what I said there. Hey, I mean, what are you gonna tell me? Those people, the milk and honey, he didn't want to apologize. He doesn't want to really conform or show any sort of understanding or empathy for how his comments are offensive. So there's definitely a stark difference in terms of how people handle it. Listen, it was a different time 15, 20 years ago. We weren't as sensitive politically as we are now on, issues like this. I mean, now you can't go out on Halloween as Tonto. You can't play cowboys and Indians. There's very few costumes that are considered, appropriate these days, other than being a ghost, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with 6-time World Series of Poker champion Daneal Negreanu.
And I would get offended if someone was a ghost, by the way.
Absolutely. All right. So you mentioned something, Daneal, and you're right, how divided we are as a country when it comes to politics. So you must have an opinion when it comes to these impeachment inquiry hearings. So I want to ask you a little bit about that. I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of it on television. It's actually going on right now. What do you make, as a Canadian, what do you make of these impeachment inquiry hearings? Do you think it's just charades and this guy is never going to be impeached? It's never going to go through the House and all this other stuff. Do you think it's a waste of time, or do you think it's legitimate?
Well, let's look at history just for a second. Look at Bill Clinton. You know, Bill Clinton was impeached for getting a blowjob and maybe sort of like lying about it, okay? So he was impeached for this. Now, if we look at the laundry list of things that, you know, Trump did in comparison that were impeachable, aside from, you know, paying with campaign funds a porn star that he raw dogged, right? Like, and the many transgressions that he's had throughout.
Well
so
said.
First and foremost, is it just to actually impeach over this? I think yes. If you look at even the summary of the transcript and what he said was quite clear. And listen, forget about your politics. Are you okay with the president asking a foreign leader to look into a political opponent? Like, that's what authoritarians and dangerous countries do. And we don't want, I'll tell you what, I don't think Trump knows or even thinks what he was doing was wrong, because he doesn't have like a real good depth of understanding of, the political rules. So he just thinks, what did I do? He's like, what did I do? I just asked the guy to help me out a little bit. Hey, what's wrong? So I don't think he did anything wrong. As for impeaching him politically, I think it hurts Democrats to a certain degree because people are over this kind of stuff. But I do feel like it made sense. They had to do it. Like, you can't let this guy do like so many things that are out over the line and just do nothing about it. So whether anything will come of it, the bottom line is, like, even if it goes through the House, it doesn't make much of a difference, because it's not like Mitch McConnell is going to push it through at the Senate level. But I do still think it's a worthwhile exercise. I mean, Trump recently said he wants to put a block on releasing his tax returns, which, for that alone should tell you something. First, he said many times, I'm going to release my tax returns. I promise. I will let him know. Right. And all of a sudden, now he's not, which not surprising. But there's stuff in there, clearly. Like, why would he be so guarded about his tax returns?
Let me ask you this.
Incriminating information.
And listen, you're right. I talk about this all the time. If there's nothing in his tax returns, then why don't you just release them? I agree. So let me ask you this, though. You're a smart guy. I hate to call it a transcript, because it's really not a transcript, right? It's not word for word with what the president spoke about with the president of the Ukraine. But based on that quote-unquote transcript, do you think that was wrongdoing? Because obviously when you withhold aid, right, and you ask the president of another country to dig up dirt on a political opponent, I think that's pretty wrong at the very least. Now, we could have a debate, or I could have a debate with Republicans, whether that's an impeachable offense or not. That's another discussion. But there are Republicans out there that refuse to even say he did anything wrong. Like the president. Let me ask you this. The president calls it a perfect phone call. Have you ever described anything in your life as perfect? Wow, that was a perfect phone call.
Just this morning I had a perfect pee. Perfect. Came out perfect. Everything hit the toilet. It was fed. When I hear him keep repeatedly call it a perfect call, it's such a weird way to phrase something, no question about it. As for, like you said, the transcript, it's a summary of the transcript, but even the summary of this transcript is pretty damning, right? So if you just look at it for what it is, and forget about the exact verbiage, but essentially this is, hey, Ukraine president, will you look into my political opponent and his son to see if they did any wrongdoings that I can use against them potentially in a race that's coming up. And by the way, that stuff I was going to give you, I'll give it to you, but make sure you do me a solid here first. So you have leverage over this guy. You have leverage over this Ukrainian president. He needs to be, cordial and gracious to you because he has a need. So you have him in a vulnerable position, and now you're asking him for a favor flat out. I think anyone, Republican or not, that is looking at that and saying that, nope, nothing to see here, they're being disingenuous, which is the world we live in now. Like, someone on the left, if Obama did any of this, like, honestly, pitchforks would be out on Fox News. Like, they would crucify the man.
You're right. You're right.
If Obama let the Kurds, which are, like the Christian allies in the Muslim world who helped us fight against ISIS, if Obama let them die and lose Syria the way that, Trump has, they would call him a traitor, and they would ask for a hanging.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
So that's the unfortunate thing. Is like when my guy does something, we defend and deflect. when your guy does something, we crucify. And it's true on both sides. No question.
It is, and that's why we have so much divide. I think too many people care more about what's good for their party than what's good for the country. If you're joining us for speaking with 6-time World Series of Poker champion Daneal Negreanu, getting his thoughts on the political spectrum. Okay, so word came out. Many professional poker players are supporting this guy, Andrew Yang, for president of the United States. I know you are one of the Yang Gang members. So I know part of it has to do with poker, but for you, a lot of it has to do with stuff outside of poker. Just give us a synopsis of why you are supporting Andrew Yang for president of the United States.
Well, yeah, no question. I mean, obviously he came out recently with a positive position on online poker, which is obvious that none of the other politicians have anything to say about. But I've been a fan of his for quite some time. And one of the things I like most about him is, in such a divisive climate, this guy's a uniter. One of his slogans is not left, not right, but forward. There's plenty of disaffected Trump supporters who actually say the following. They say this verbatim. They say, well, I'd never vote for no Democrat, but other than that Yang guy made. Because Yang is speaking to them on issues that matter. Trump has been talking about you're losing your jobs to immigration. Well, Yang's actually said, there's something more important, and that's automation and artificial intelligence. What I like about Yang, first and foremost, and I do believe that, he was the Dem candidate, he would be the most likely to beat Trump because I think they're in trouble. I think Warren and Sanders would get destroyed, honestly, because of, the route they want to take the country. But Yang specifically, has ideas that bring on board people from both sides, and I think he sees problems of the future now. Like with automation and AI, like those labor jobs, a lot of them are going to just be gone. Sure, other jobs will come about, but what kind of jobs? Tech jobs, computer jobs? That's not necessarily for, your average Joe, like that doesn't have a college degree or something like that. So Yang is seeing solutions to problems we are going to face, and I think the 70-plus crowd, the Warren, Biden, Sanders, they're looking at problems from, and using like the past as a reference for how to deal with problems of today, while Yang sees forward and sees like, where the world's going, guys, and it's going there quick. Like automation, we're not that far off of truck being able to drive across country. Now, what happens to those 29 million truck drivers who work in the United States as a truck driver, and now they're out of a job? There's a whole bunch of little technological advancements that we can get to that eliminate jobs. I mean, I saw a thing where there was like robots cooking in a restaurant, just like a robot arm, and like you just 4 robots all on a line.
It's crazy.
It's insane, and he sees what's happening and he has solutions for addressing it for the people.
No, and I appreciate that. Let's go back to poker for a second. So he wants to legalize online poker in every state. I have some issues with that, Daneal, and I know that you probably would disagree with me on this. I think there's way too much cheating going on. I know that if it's regulated, and I know all the issues we've had in the past, for the most part, were from websites that were outside the United States of America. They didn't have the regulation that they would have here in the United States. With that being said, there's tons of cheating. There's tons of collusion. I think there are certain things that are very difficult to police. And quite frankly, I don't trust the card generators, and I know the argument is, well, you're getting so many more hands online than you do in a live game, so it might appear, blah, 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 blah. The worst beats I've ever taken in my life have been online. I speak to many other poker players that agree with me. I don't trust the card generators. Who's to stop in a big cash game, a couple players, at the same table telling each other what they have? I understand that there will be there will be some ways of detecting that, but let's be honest. If you're really good at it, you're probably not going to get caught. Those are my issues with online gambling. And also, how do you stop a 12-year-old from playing on their father's or mother's account? See, that's another problem that I have. You can't be a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old and walk into a casino and start playing. They're going to ask you for ID. But online, you could use somebody else's account, and it's virtually impossible to detect. So address those issues for me, if you may.
Okay, first and foremost, on the online poker, issue of collusion being difficult to detect and you getting away with it, well, that you're just definitely wrong on, and I promise you. So first and foremost, Andrew Yang didn't quite say, legalize in every state. He said, like, let's take a look at these rules and, at least, give everyone an opportunity, if you are a state, to, go ahead and legalize and regulate. Now, the issue we face now is, like, a lot of things you bring up are, reasonable arguments. However, people are playing online poker in the United States right now, all over the place. Their money's not secure. The consumer's not protected. If the offshore site decides they want to close up shop and you got 3,000 in there, boom, it just goes poof and it's gone. So people are already doing this, and I'm all about liberty and freedom to, choose what you want to do with your entertainment dollar. If you want to sit on your couch with a laptop and play some, $5 sit and goes or stuff like that, I don't think the government should step in and say you're not allowed to do that.
But I'm not really talking about that. I'm not really talking about $5 sit and goes. I get your point, but be honest with me, Daneal. You're not sponsored.
Well, I was going to get to addressing your points because, like this, I know internally the security software on these sites is next level. It's like NASA. You know, you will get caught. Bots do not last because they understand and know they have technology now to spot cheaters and bots that is next level. In fact, you are more likely to catch people cheating online than you will in a live casino. If two guys are playing at the same table at the Mirage or Bellagio, and you don't get to see their whole cards, you have no access to understanding how they're cheating, what they're cheating, they get away with it forever. Online, we have access to every hand these people have played together. There's algorithms to figure it out. I know internally these people spot these cheaters, maybe not in the first week, but within the first month, they get caught. Your issue of, you know, underage people, you know, playing online, no question. Obviously, that's something that would be difficult to police. I don't have as big of a problem with it. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for this kid to get their parents' credit card without their parents' permission. And if the parents are okay with it, I don't really have a big deal. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with kids playing, you know, small money things and learning how to do math and things like that. So, you know, I think it's a liberty and a freedom that the government shouldn't be policing. Like, the government shouldn't be telling us what we should and shouldn't do with our own money. If you don't like playing online poker and you believe there's cheating and stuff, you have every right to not play.
Would you be
But for
comfortable?
others that want to play and take that risk, I don't think we should, you know, live in a nanny state where we tell people, oh, no, you're not allowed. You shouldn't do that.
Would you be comfortable dropping right now $1 million playing online poker, playing with 3 or 4 guys that you've never played against before in a, I don't know, 100 or 500, 1,000 no-limit game? Would you be comfortable doing something like that online?
So here's the thing. I would be comfortable doing it, except I wouldn't do it because they're too good. So the players at that level are so incredibly good at poker in terms of, like, using, you know, game theory and all this stuff online,
right.
potentially using third-party tools and stuff like that. I wouldn't risk, you know, playing them because I don't think I can beat the game, right? Now, if I found some sort of, like, you know, there's a live one, and I know that this is happening in several different sites and jurisdictions, GG Poker, for example. I know there's people that are playing, they're playing $25,000 buy-in, sit and goes every hour, you know, and there's several Asian, you know, wealthy businessmen who are losing tons of money to other professionals and people who are playing. I would absolutely jump in those and play because they're lucrative, right? And again, it depends on the site and how much you trust whether or not they're policing the games. But I've been playing poker long enough to, like, be able to gauge whether or not something fishy is going on. And like recently, we just had a cheating scandal in poker with Mike Postel in a live casino in Stone.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
This guy was cheating using you know, the RFID cards, right? So I genuinely think that online poker, while people are going to try, they're always going to try to cheat and game a system. I think it's a lot safer if the site is spending resources on security as they should. And I know for the most part, a lot of the bigger sites are. The problem we face now is some of the fringe ones that are here, they probably don't have a lot of incentives to protect consumers from cheating and stuff like that. They're just trying to make a quick buck. If you regulate and allow regulators to go in and make sure that they're enforcing these security measures, well, that's actually just better for everybody. And bottom line is this, people are playing anyway. How stupid is a law that you can't enforce? Like, why bother tell people you can't play online poker and not regulate it when everyone is? I mean, it's just so silly.
And that's a good point, because you have United States players playing right now. Say you have $50,000 in an account, and somehow you lose it, or you get cheated out of it, or you want to cash out, and the Costa Rica website doesn't let you do it. What's your recourse at this point as a resident of the United States under those circumstances?
Well, you have no recourse. And in addition to this is the important point that I brought up to Yang, because I did have a phone call with Andrew Yang, you know, about this issue and others. And, you know, the other issue you're not thinking about, too, is, like, if you regulate, which it is regulated here in Nevada, there's a bunch of tax revenue that comes in for your state that's good for everybody, whether you play online poker or not. So let's say you don't want to play because you feel like the RNG is not fair and you get cheated. You'll still benefit from the state legalizing it from a tax perspective. It's like marijuana in Colorado, you know, which obviously is spreading to a lot of other states because people see, you know, the benefit and the value. Sports betting is being legalized all over the country, you know, and you could argue that, you know, that's more difficult to beat than poker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people losing because, you know, the juice is too high, and most people, very few people can beat that. So it's very difficult to make an argument that sports betting should be legal, but online poker shouldn't. I don't think there's a way to make that delineation.
Fair enough. My point is real poker is just live, where you could, not to say that there aren't tells online. Of course there are. But I think real poker is when you could play against somebody face-to-face. That's always been my personal opinion. But you certainly stated your opinions eloquently, Daneal. Hey, before I let you go, we only have 1 minute. I have to ask you, what the hell is going on with the Vegas Golden Knights? How the hell did they lose to the Blackhawks last night at home and are embarrassed? They've been on a skid. What's going on, man?
Well, guys, if you watch the game, Vegas dominated. I mean, their expected goals were like 3.1 to 1.8. They really dominated in every facet. Corey Crawford was extremely lucky and played extremely well. They really just ran into a hot goaltender. There are some issues, of course. You know, in the third period, we've been lazy a little bit, giving up some leads, you know, having some performing. You know, you can look at a guy like Eakin and Marchessault, you know, on the back end, you know, Theodore, McNabb, England. They've all, you know, need to play better. I think they'll be fine. I think overall this is a really good thing. It's a character-building opportunity. Every team goes through a rut. You look at Dallas, you look at Tampa.
That's
early
true.
this season, they both have had streaks.
That's
so
true.
I do think the team's going to be fine, and this is just what, you know, if you look at the underlying numbers, they rank fourth in expected goals 5-on-5, but their actual goals 5-on-5 are fourth last.
Yeah,
So that's a lot
telling.
of luck involved.
No, you're right. That's a really good point. Daneal, I always appreciate it when you take some time to join us, and I like the fact that we don't talk about poker. We talk about a lot of other things, too, which I can appreciate about you. Thank you so much for coming on with us, and certainly we'd love to have you on again soon, okay?
Always, man. I'm always a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Daneal. There you go. Six-time World Series of Poker champion, Daneal Negreanu. I love having this guy on. One of the smartest guys I know. He really is awesome, and I could talk about anything with him. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the guys from Human Nature will be joining us in studio, giving away tickets and performing for us. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
The only FM news talk station in the Valley. 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, says the color drained from her face when reading that President Trump had criticized her in a call to Ukraine's leader and said that she would, quote, go through some things. She was asked whether Ukraine had interfered in the 2016 elections.
Was there any discussion at the embassy that there's these indications of some Ukrainians trying to, you know, at least advocate against then candidate Trump?
Actually, there weren't. I mean, we didn't really see it that way.
She told the hearing intelligence was certain it was Russian interference. Roger Stone has been found guilty of lying to Congress and other charges in a case that has shed new light on President Trump's anticipation of the release of stolen Democratic emails by WikiLeaks in 2016. Stone could get 20 years in prison. He remains free pending sentencing in February. I'm Mike Moss. As former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch testifies before the House impeachment hearing, correspondent Kylie Atwood reports much of her testimony is about concerns regarding the State Department.
Ambassador Yovanovitch talks largely about the State Department and how it is in a moment of crisis right now, how it is being hollowed out from within. And she talks about that broadly, given the fact that she says the policy process is unraveling. There are folks at the State Department, high-level officials and mid-level officials, who are worried about an uncertain future, and so they are heading for the door.
The Navy says 11 sailors suffered minor injuries when fire broke out on the USS Iwo Jima. It's now docked at the Naval Station Mayport near Jacksonville. The Navy and sailors on the amphibious assault ship reported smoke in a cargo hold. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 135. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Dispatch Health. Watch for debris on the highway on I-15 southbound at Desert Inn. This is going to be the underpass, slow and go, and also an accident on the 215 Beltway westbound at I-15. Vehicles off left. That one should be in the clearing stage. On the surface streets, a crash reported at Arville at Tropicana. When you're sick, every minute counts. Go to dispatchhealth.com, where high-quality medical care comes to you. Visit dispatchhealth.com to learn about medical professionals who make house calls. Dispatch Health, covered by most insurance. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
For more than a year, the whole of Vermont was captivated by the hunt for a runaway golden retriever. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press. Available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
Tuscany Suites and Casino is the place for locals to play. Every Monday and Wednesday, Tuscany is giving 11 and 7 times multipliers just for playing your favorite games. If you're not a member of the Players Club, it's easy to sign up and take advantage of all the great member benefits, including free slot play and comps to their award-winning Best of Las Vegas dining outlets like Pub 365 and Tuscany Gardens. Visit the Players Club for details. Tuscany Suites and Casino, 2 blocks east of the Strip at 255 East Flamingo.
Are you drinking too much? Is that glass or two of wine turning into a bottle?
You know it's taking a toll on your liver and overall health. It's probably already affecting your relationships and work performance. You have thought about quitting, but don't want to attend those local meetings, and you know rehab is not for you.
I'm not an alcoholic. I just want to drink less.
Well, now there's a new way to get help cutting back on drinking without having to quit. Just get your life back. Life Back. That's Life BAC is an online doctor-supervised prescription program with medication that totally removes or significantly reduces cravings in 92% of people. The program is discreet, easy to follow, and costs less per month than a glass of wine every night. Plus, it comes with a free doctor consultation and 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to lifebac.com and join our program or download the app today. lifebac.com. Drink less, live better. lifebac.com.
Best inventions of all time? The wheel, obviously. Cheeseburgers, no brainer. And of course, Tempur-Pedic mattress technology. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress. Save up to $600 on one of those magnificent Tempur-Pedic mattress sets at our Veterans Day sale. Plus, we'll throw in a $300 gift with purchase. You want more? Okay, 72 months, no interest financing, and free delivery. Best service, best selection, best prices, best mattress. Sleep easy, friends. See store for details.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. And, you know, on Fridays, we love having local entertainers in here. Yesterday, we had actually Marlon Wayans. I wouldn't really call him a local entertainer. He is actually doing a show tonight at the Mirage, and these guys are nationally renowned entertainers. They've been all over the world. They've opened up for Michael Jackson. They have been everywhere, and they're doing a great show on the Strip, and they're actually changing their show. I wouldn't say changing it, but it's a Christmas songs. They get Christmas Motown. The guys from Human Nature are in studio with us right now. Andrew, Mike, Toby, and Phil. Gentlemen, always good to have you back in studio. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. You guys are looking lavish as usual.
Well, thank you.
I always get very jealous when you guys come because, you know, you have full head of hair. You dress really nice. I dress like a schlob. I'm bald. You guys sing great. You look great. And I'm extremely jealous.
Don't feel
Campaign, would you
bad.
agree
No, you
on-
look good today. You're looking good.
I like
The
that.
hat's working well.
For me,
The hand is kind of hat. It's nice.
For me, I look good.
And listen, I like the sweatpants too. They work for you.
You know
They're
what?
good.
I wear these sweatpants every day because they're just so comfortable.
I bet.
They are so comfortable. I need to be comfortable. Like, you guys have to really dress up for your show. That can't always be comfortable, right? I mean, you guys always have to worry about. I have a face for radio. I'm on the radio every day. Nobody cares what I look like. But you guys have to take
Actually,
care
when
of
we started, we're actually in like a three-piece suit. We wore like a three-piece suit,
That's
which
awful.
was not so. But now we've kind of moved. We're into jeans now, which are a
jeans
bit
on
easier to dance
better.
in. And
So
yeah,
wearing-
the three-piece
Stretch
suit.
jeans so they can accommodate like Thanksgiving and,
good.
and holidays like that.
So
We
take me
blew
back.
through too many pairs of pants, I think, in the.
Take me back to when you were wearing that three-piece suit. How difficult is it to perform on stage? You're sweating, and you're wearing an outfit like that. I can't imagine how difficult that is.
Yeah, it gets a little difficult, particularly like when you have to do some kind of move where you have to squat down or something. You have to be very careful of your form, or else all of a sudden the audience is seeing a whole lot more of you than they need to.
Has that ever happened to any of you where you had a
Oh,
walk?
yeah. Oh, yes. Yep.
Explain to me.
Actually-
give me an example.
Actually, we were on tour in Australia, and we were doing a show over in Perth. And I went down to this dance move, sort of down on the stage, and got back up and realised I'd split my pants. And I think Phil was next to me, and I said, "Phil, I think I've split my pants." And then this woman from the front row goes, "Yes, you have, doll." So I actually ran off stage and I was screaming out, "Anybody got black pants?" And it was like our stage tech guy. He sort of ripped his jeans off, his black jeans, and I put them.
And you have like what, 2 or 3 minutes before you have to get
Not
back?
even. It was probably a minute.
To put
but,
on, you just get this guy's jeans. Did they fit you right, or
They're a little loose, but they'd seen some things in their life. They were like they were roadie jeans for sure.
How many people are back there during your show, by the way?
Not that many. That's why I was like desperate to find somebody with
I
black
mean, you
pants.
guys are singing. It's not like, you know, a Cirque show where you have like 300 people back there.
No,
right? No, it's not
probably
like
about
that.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. And
so lucky that Toby found someone that had black jeans on.
Well, any other guys had an experience like that? I find those very funny.
No. I mean, it just again, we started here in Vegas. We had these tux pants, and we did a few crotch busting moves. And Toby and I seem to have the honor of busting the crotch more than anyone else. But they'd just wear thin, you know.
I don't know what you're trying to say with that statement, Andrew, but yeah, I think that's true.
We're going to put that on our billboards.
You should. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Crotch busting moves.
It's a mix between singing and I guess it's like it's the show at the Rio, right? Chippendales. It can be a mix between the two. I like that. The guys from Human Nature joining us in studio. Christmas Motown. So, what are some of your favorite Christmas songs to sing that never get old in your eyes?
It was actually funny because we on the promo trail for the Christmas show, and we're thinking what songs we're going to sing, and like it's, can we really do Santa Claus is Coming to Town again? And the weird thing is these songs, they don't change every Christmas,
Right.
so you got to pull out the classics. And we've been doing a bit of White Christmas recently, and we're hoping it'll cool down finally here in Vegas when we sing that song. But that's one of my favorites. I love White Christmas.
How about you guys?
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
That's a good
It's one of mine. Yeah.
Classic.
Yep. I'll put in there Winter Wonderland. We do a really cool version that's a bit like a Temptations version of the song. So we change it up a little bit and make it a bit groovy, and it's fun to sing.
Very cool.
Andrew mentioned it, but Santa Claus is Coming to Town is
a
fun one, and we sort of do it at the end of our show, and it's one that all the kids get into as well because lots of families come down to see the show. And,
Sure.
And each year when we do the Christmas show, at that point we try and make it snow in the showroom. So, and it often does. So if people want to see a bit of indoor snow,
There's a different word for that. If you're at like a ZZ Top show or something like that, or Ozzy Osbourne, and they say they're going to make it snow, usually it means something else. So you guys aren't talking about that.
No. Ours is family-friendly
family
snow.
show. Yeah. All right. What's your favorite Hanukkah song? Come on, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Dreidel
show.
I'll tell you what, I heard an awesome version of Shake It Off, but the guys sing it about Hanukkah. They're singing,
awesome.
made a dreidel out of clay, 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 clay.
I like that.
It's awesome. You got to look it up.
I like that. I love that.
So Mazel Tov, wasn't it? The hook.
Mazel. There's a song
Mazel
called
Tov.
There's a song called Mazel Tov.
No,
Wow.
it was all in the same song.
I didn't even know that. That's unbelievable. So it's been a few months since you guys have been in studio. It might have been like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something. How have the shows been going so far?
It's been a good fall, autumn season here for us. We it's always a good time. People seem to come to Vegas to see shows in that time. So for us, it's been great, and just seen a whole bunch of new people coming to the show. A lot of Aussies always come to the show, which is fantastic. But we always look so excited or so forward to changing over to this Christmas show. It's a good change for us, and just to see the kind of the reaction from the crowd, getting in the spirit, it's really cool.
For those of you listening right now that don't know, and by the way, we're going to be giving out some tickets to see Human Nature here in just a little bit. These guys have been doing this for a very, very long time. I don't make it to sound like you guys are old. You're not old.
Such a long time.
You just did, but anyway.
You guys have been doing this for a while. You opened up for Michael Jackson. You guys have opened up for some pretty big acts, and you've performed in front of literally, right, 50,000 people. Is that fair?
The biggest crowd ever was over 100,000 people.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, that was in Germany on a Formula One racetrack.
Oh my God!
Yeah. And it was like, you're standing on stage with that many people in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't tell that it's that many people.
I deal with that every day. There's at least 100,000 people listening.
By the time you get about halfway back in the crowd, you're not seeing anyone's faces or anything anymore. It's just dots. It's just like a blur.
But I mean,
It's
when you're
incredible.
going to a show like that and you're opening up for Michael Jackson, there's going to be a ton of people. But did you know that show there would be that many people before, you were at the venue?
Yeah, we were. I remember our dressing stage. Maybe it was in the pits. I don't know, because it is a racetrack. And we could literally see it was like a sea of people, and it was amazing. It was you could hear the crowd kind of. They're all talking together, and but for us it wasn't like we're going out to perform for 100,000 people, because you can't even comprehend that. It was just a fun gig.
It was embarrassing for Michael when the crowd booed him when they come on stage and they started chanting Human Nature.
Bring back. Yeah, bring
Human Nature. In German, of course.
No, but I mean, you guys understand why I asked that, though, because, I mean, you guys have been doing this for a long time and you're veterans. But with that being said, you do a show like that, it has to change a little bit. I mean, you don't want to change your thought process and your performance, but, I mean, you have to be thinking to yourself, wow, this is incredible. I mean, what's going through your mind before you hit the stage for a show like that?
I think one of the other that was a number of live people, but when we actually had the honor of singing at the Sydney Olympics back in 2000, and people were banding around the number billions, billions of people watching, and that was, I think for us, that was one of the most kind of nervous we've ever been, just to know that this was going out live to the world, and that was I still remember the feeling before that. Just this was kind of overwhelming to think that that many people were going to watch something we did.
And I know you
Good
had
or bad.
Of course. And I know you had a brief interaction with Michael Jackson. You met him. You guys spoke for a little bit. But what was it like, the entourage around Michael Jackson, the security, the way things were put together for him? Like, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was quite full on. We actually got to know a lot of the security guys and crew and band, so we became a bit of a part of the family, I guess, on the road, whereas Michael is always very much a step away from that. But one of the funny things is that whenever Michael Jackson walks down a hallway in a room, in a building, the security would go ahead of him and ask people to close their doors.
Really?
It was a little bit odd, I suppose, to stop people from fawning all over him and staring at him. But we became such a part of the furniture on the tour that the security guys had come down towards our room.
That was in a hotel room, you're telling me?
No, this is backstage.
Oh, backstage. Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
That we'd hear the security guys coming down
So when
the
you
hall
say
saying,
when you say close the door, though, what do you mean? What door to what?
the door to your room, to the
oh,
hall.
just
It's
the,
Michael's room.
okay. So
If Michael Jackson's
so you're
walking
telling me
down the hall,
there's a bunch of people in dressing rooms. It could be managers or people like yourself,
dancers,
and they requested that you close your doors when he walks by.
when he walks past. That's correct.
What are they afraid that you're just going to take out a picture and then sell the picture to TMZ?
Well, I guess like the level of security in those rooms wasn't as high as it normally is around Michael. So I guess
he is
they're
like he
trained.
was
They're
like the
Na-
president. I
They're
mean, he's
Navy SEAL guys, so
Yeah.
I suppose they're just doing what
they're supposed
is
to
the most
do, right?
important thing.
But you guys aren't like fans. You're musicians. You're opening up for the guy.
But that's the
and you
funny
gotta-
thing that
it's
we-
like that to me. That's like a security guard going up to you saying, "Hey guys, I know you're opening up for Michael Jackson, but don't ask for his autograph right now." Like it's just what I mean. Like I could see if you guys were just regular fans backstage, but
That's
you're not.
right.
That's why it's a little weird to me.
But that's what eventually happened. We became such a part of the furniture on the tour that we'd hear the security guys coming and going, "Close your door, please. Close your door, please. Close your door, please." Then they get to our room and go, "Hey, guys," and then keep going. "Close your door, please. Close your door, please." I knew it was us. It was like,
That's
it doesn't
cool.
matter.
That's
Those guys
cool.
are
That's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
because that would be a little bit weird. Okay, so tell me about this switch to the Christmas Motown. I know you're going to sing a song for us here in a little bit, and we're going to give away some tickets. But tell me about the change. I would imagine when you're singing the same songs day in and day out, you like to switch it up a little bit, right? So this is probably refreshing for you guys, right?
Yeah, totally. We actually, when we started as a group, this coming up in a few weeks, it'll be our 30th anniversary together as a
Wow,
group, 30
that's
years.
awesome.
But when we started,
Congratulations.
we actually went out onto the streets of Sydney at Christmas time. We would go out and sing Christmas carols, and so we'd go out and busk. That was part of kind of how we made a little bit of extra money at Christmas time. And so for us, it's always been part of our DNA, doing these songs, and we made a Christmas album a few years ago too. So we love, changing the show over,
Sure.
and it's just, it's a lot of fun for us.
You recently celebrated 10 years here performing in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
Now, as you know, it is very difficult to have a lasting show here in Las Vegas. I don't care who you are. Frank Caliendo is one name that comes to mind. Extremely talented guy, super nice guy, one of the best impersonators around. His show only lasted 6 months here, and he signed a 10-year contract. It's just the point being, it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't even matter how talented you are. There's got to be a little bit of luck involved.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
got to be a great show. It's got to be local friendly. Obviously, you guys are doing all those things. But when you started this, go back, rewind 10 years. Did you think you guys would be here this long?
Oh, no way. I mean, in those early weeks, we didn't know whether we were going to be here for a month or two or a year. Really, we just had to be ready to sort of roll with it and try and adjust to it, because we didn't know the market, but the producer that we were working with certainly did. So we put a lot of faith in what he knew, and I think the trick with Vegas is you got to make sure you've got like the backing or the funding or whatever to last 6 months, because I think a lot of shows in the last few years have just like front loaded everything, like they put all this money in, and then they just don't get people coming along. And we've even had to make changes to ours to sort of adjust to changes that happen in town. But it's going great guns at the moment.
And congratulations on that. By the way, you guys were also inducted into the Aria Hall of Fame. Now, for locals in Las Vegas, they might think that's the Aria Hotel. Wait, the Aria,
We just realized that.
the Aria Hotel and Casino has a Hall of Fame? No, they
We're
don't.
moving in there. We're going to be living there.
They do not have a Hall of Fame. Can you explain to me what that is?
Well, it's the Australian version of the Grammy Awards, if you will. It's our record industry and music industry. And so we're getting honoured into the Australian Music Industry Hall of Fame. So it's for our recording career and our whole career. And it's really amazing that the industry wants to recognise us that way. You know, it's something we never worked towards, you know, or never really imagined we would get. You know, it's kind of, you don't set those kind of goals really as artists. You kind of want to make music and make people happy. But to kind of have we found out about 4 weeks ago, we're actually in Niagara Falls, and our manager said it was about 1 o'clock at night, and we just done our last show, so we're kind of still up. And she said, "You need to get on the phone right now." And so we all kind of conferenced in, and I thought something devastating was happening. But she said, we all sat on the phone. She goes, "Oh, I just got news that you guys are being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year." It was like,
Incredible.
what? Really?
How cool is that?
Yeah. And the bizarre thing is it's on November 27th. And that is the actual day that we celebrate our anniversary. So every year on that day. So yeah, we'll be turning 30 as a group on that night as well.
Wow, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A lot of success, man. That's pretty incredible. If you're just joining us, the guys from Human Nature in studio, Andrew, Mike, Toby, and Phil. They're switching it up to the Christmas Motown. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this starts on the 19th of this month, and it goes through December 23rd. Is that correct?
22nd.
Okay, and then
So
what
four
happens?
shows, 19th through the 22nd.
So you're still doing your regular show now, and then on the 19th you switch it up?
That's right.
Is that what
Yeah,
happens?
Tuesday
Is that
night.
so? Do you guys? I would imagine you guys do some rehearsals. If you haven't
We have.
done these songs in a
Yes.
while, you don't just go right up there, cold and just start singing these songs. How much rehearsal does it take to really get a song down and you're comfortable to perform it in front of a bunch of people?
Well, I think when you put a brand new song in the show, that can take quite a while to do it. It's not just a matter of just getting the performance right. You've got to get the choreography down, the staging of it, the lighting and everything like that, like what might be happening with the production behind it on the video screens. So that can take a good, it's not a specific time, but over a number of days before you can have the song be ready.
Sure.
But we're lucky with the Christmas show. We've actually been doing the Christmas show pretty much every year since we've been here. So those songs...
Right, so you're used to it.
Yeah, so it takes a little less time, but we still do definitely rehearse.
Have you
It's
guys
not like
ever
we just get out there and do it?
Of course, that's a stupid question. So have you guys ever done karaoke before? Does anyone ever ask you to do karaoke? Because is that annoying when someone asks you to do that?
A little bit. I mean, I kind of feel like a bit of a dickhead, because like being a good singer, like no one wants to hear a good singer do karaoke. But you got to choose one of the fun songs. I could choose something stupid like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, if you had to sing a karaoke song, would it be Madonna, like a Virgin? Like, what would it be? What would the song be? Yeah.
My favorite.
Barry Manilow.
I've only ever done it a couple of times, but I love a Captain and Daneal duet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like
I would like to hear that.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
that's pretty.
I think that's pretty much one of the only
All
times
right, we
I've
have
ever
that
done
song queued up. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you do it with yourself?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
All by yourself. Wow.
I'm half woman and half man, and yeah, no.
I like that. Like, if you guys, what would you guys do if you were forced to do a song? What would the song be? It can't be one of your own. That's cheating.
No, I've always loved to do Kiss, the Prince song. That's a cool one.
Oh, that's a good one. You definitely have the vocals for that. That's
I think
for sure.
a bit of Neil Diamond or something would be good.
Neil Diamond.
They're coming to America.
I love it. These guys are good. I like that. So I thought you were going to say Justin Bieber. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Oh no,
That's Andrew. That's
I do Bieber.
he's a believer.
What do you guys make of some of the music out there today? And I'm not asking you to bash people. That's my job. I do that every day. But, there's a lot of quote-unquote musicians out there. I won't mention any names, Britney Spears, but some people on the strip that, they're entertainers, but I wouldn't necessarily call them musicians because they lip sync and they don't play any musical instruments. So what do you make of some of these people that are making $300,000-$400,000 a show that are not singing? They're dancing and they're taking their clothes off, but they're entertaining, right?
I say they're awesome, and would they be interested in investing in another Vegas show?
Now, there you go.
Yeah, I'd say on their good side.
There you go. I like that. No, but you know what I'm saying?
Entertainment comes in all forms.
That's true.
No matter if you're entertained by what you're seeing, then I guess that the job's been done. So it's kind of, I guess, for some of those shows, I don't think people are going necessarily to hear a great vocal from someone like, maybe it's Britney that you're talking about, but they're going for the songs and for the spectacle. So it's
the production.
I think it's like, if you're entertained, if that's entertaining for you, then it's working, I guess.
Sure, that's fair. That makes sense. All right, so what would you guys consider the best male and female vocalists of all time?
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Female for me is kind of pretty easy there are great ones out there, but probably Aretha Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. I got a chance to see her. I was lucky enough, and unbelievable voice.
Donny Hathaway had an incredible voice.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, he's just. There's so many great singers. It's
hard to narrow it down.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
There you go.
He's
singer.
just so versatile. that
I
he
saw
can
him at
sing-
T-Mobile. Yeah,
he
it
can
was an
sing something
incredible
like
show.
yesterday, and then the next minute turn around and sing.
What do you guys
Helter
think of
Skelter.
Adele? Adele's pretty good.
She's got an amazing voice,
Yeah.
yeah. And just her, just the most of her records, that's just her voice. It's such an incredible instrument and so much character. And she touches, people relate to her as an artist in a big way. So that's she's
I always
incredible.
thought Whitney Houston when she was in her prime.
Yeah, she was amazing.
When she was in her prime, I mean, I don't know who could beat that. She was.
I think
incredible.
Celine Dion's one of the greatest singers of all
Absolutely.
time. She just, we've seen her live so many times, and just her ability to just tear those notes. And you can hear maybe 2 notes of a song, and you can tell it's Celine Dion.
I think Prince was
he was incredible.
insane. Like his range was incredible as well. Like
And an incredible musician. He played 15 different instruments,
everything,
which is unbelievable, right? Like as far as rock artists go, I'm just curious, who are some of your favorite rock artists that you grew up listening to that you love, that you still listen to?
Well, I actually listened to a lot of Aussie rock bands. Midnight
sure.
Oil was like a
Sure.
big favorite of mine. They were big.
That's
over
a good
here.
one, yeah.
I think Bono's an incredible rock vocalist. Yeah.
Those are some good
Queen's
ones.
always been my favorite.
Did you guys like the movie?
I thought it was good.
It's pretty cool.
When are they going to make a documentary or a movie about you guys? That's what I want to know. That'd be interesting. Who's going to play Michael Jackson in that little awkward conversation?
The whole way.
That little awkward. How long was that conversation, by the way? This is what I find fascinating. You're opening up for Michael Jackson. How many dates was that?
In the 40s somewhere.
So 40-something dates, and you only talked to him once, right?
Yeah,
And
we
how-
tried hard. We were pressing all the time. We wanted to meet him.
How
but-
long was that conversation? I'm just curious.
It was probably
5 minutes?
Couple of minutes.
yeah, a few minutes.
That's it, huh?
We did more of an interchange
hey,
rather
how's it
than a
going?
conversation.
How you doing?
And we did take a photo with him, but we actually never saw the photo. We've never
You
seen
took
it.
a-
Still never seen it. To
You
this
took
day.
a photo with him, and he never got the photo?
Yeah, it was with a professional photographer that he has on his
He
tour,
never
and
sent you
obviously he didn't approve of it. Maybe he looked bad in it or something. So
He didn't approve of the picture. You never
Yeah,
saw the
so
picture.
he didn't let it
That's
get
a
out to
shame
us.
because that would have been pretty
Yeah,
cool to
would've
have a
been cool
picture.
to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's too bad. All right, so here's what I want to do. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, you guys are going to sing a song for us in studio. I can't
Sure.
wait for
Wonderful.
that.
Okay.
Before I do that, I want to give a pair of tickets away to see this
Okay.
show. I've seen these guys before. They are absolutely incredible, and you're going to hear it coming up next. But right now, fifth caller at 257-5396, we're going to give you a pair of tickets to see the Australia's Human Nature, Motown, and more. This is a pair of tickets. It's good till the end of the year, so you have plenty of time. Right now, fifth caller, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to win tickets. Fifth caller, pair of tickets to see Human Nature. That number again, 702-257-5396. And you just scored yourself a pair of tickets to see these lavishly good-looking men on stage.
Just standing there looking good.
That's right, doing their thing.
Really, really, really
Again,
good looking.
257-5396. Fifth caller right now. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, these guys are going to be singing in studio for us. I promise you, they are absolutely incredible. The phone lines are going crazy. See, when I give something out for free, they just,
People
boom.
love free stuff.
People like free stuff, man. They call up. I'm telling you. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. These guys we're coming right back at you. And by the way, stick around because I have another pair of tickets to give away next segment. So we're going to take a quick break. Be back right after this. We will hear these guys singing live on this show on the Vegas Take. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
We're running a health insurance survey right now, and here's a question to our listeners. Do you personally write the checks for your family's health insurance bill every month? Okay, are you frustrated because your health insurance premium is costing you as much or more than your mortgage? Buying health insurance is complicated, and U.S. Health Group's licensed agents can make it easy for you. They'll show you the best options for your needs, in person or on the phone. It's up to you, but you need to act now. You could have a new health coverage plan and start saving money next month. Don't wait. The call and the quote are free.
Call 800-519-5582. 800-519-5582. That's 800-519-5582.
Plans are underwritten by Freedom Life Insurance Company of America, Enterprise Life Insurance Company, or National Foundation Life Insurance Company. This coverage is not available in all states, and some exclusions or limitations may apply in your state.
Does your child love math?
Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students, and whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now, 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
V is for victory, except on Saturdays when V is for veterans. That's Veterans Talk, The Forgotten Promise. Join us every Saturday from noon to 1.
Veterans Talk every Saturday at noon on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN. Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
This is Chelsea Stunkel with the Nevada Highway Patrol. Buckle up, drive safe, and don't drive impaired. No excuse is worth your life, and we want everyone to have 0 fatalities as their goal. If you see an impaired driver, dial 911 or star NHP and get those drunk drivers off the road. Please be safe out there.
Special report House impeachment inquiry. Marie Yovanovitch says she doesn't understand why she was smeared by the president and Rudy Giuliani.
There's a question as to why the kind of campaign to get me out of Ukraine happened. Because all the president has to do is say he wants a different ambassador. And in my line of work, perhaps in your line of work as well, all we have is our reputation. And so this has been a very painful period.
The former ambassador to Ukraine rejected assertions that Ukraine was involved in interfering in the 2016 U.S. elections. She says intelligence has conclusively determined it was Russia that interfered. Roger Stone faces as much as 20 years in prison after being convicted by a Washington jury on charges including witness tampering and lying to Congress. He will be sentenced in February in Washington. Until then, the judge says he can remain free. I'm Mike Moore.
It's time to check the roads in the KDAWN Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Sam and Ash. No delays to report on the I-15 Resort Corridor, looking great between the Spaghetti Bowl and Spring Mountain, no slowing northbound. And on the 95 east side, west side again, it's delay-free. There is a crash reported at Durango at Tropicana on the surface streets. Watch for police at the scene. No injuries are reported. Also an accident reported at Tenaya at Tropicana. After an accident, the insurance company won't have your back. That's why you need personal injury attorneys Sam and Ash, because you deserve what's right. Visit them now at samandash.com. John Michaels from the KDAWN Traffic Center.
What's your reason to do LASIK? No need to put it off any longer this summer. Dr. Kent Wellish at Wellish Vision Institute is here to improve your vision for a better outlook on life.
My reason? I want to wake up and see, and to stop paying for glasses and contacts. LASIK is a permanent solution for a low-maintenance lifestyle.
My reason? I want a board-certified, non-corporate chain, top doc surgeon who I can trust to perform my LASIK.
Whatever your reason, schedule your free one-on-one LASIK consultation at Wellish Vision Institute by the end of the month and receive $1,000 off LASIK. On top of that, we offer 0% financing for 2 full years. Wellish Vision Institute now has 3 convenient locations no matter where you're located. We're close. Call 702-733-2020 or visit wellishvision.com to book your free consultation. Don't wait any longer. Now is the time to get the clear vision you deserve. Certain restrictions apply. Financing with approved credit.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. We'll also have a dolphin chatter excitedly in front of the perfect candidate. Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Hi, this is Sabrina Chapman inviting you to join me every Sunday from noon to 12:30 p.m. for my new show, Mommies, Meetings, and Mimosas. We'll be interviewing the leading Las Vegas ladies that are handling business and motherhood like a boss. Only on 101.5 FM, 720 KDON.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, and I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4. Be there.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
This is a rap about a MAGA hat.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. No, these guys will not be rapping about Donald Trump. We played those earlier. It was just absolutely horrible. But the guys in studio joining us right now are the guys from Human Nature, Andrew, Mike, Toby, and Phil. And their show is switching up a little bit on November 19th to the Christmas Motown and more. We're going to have another pair of tickets to give away here in just a little bit. But, gentlemen, I'm going to shut up now. I do talk way too much. And I want to give you guys an opportunity because you guys are so good at what you do. You're so amazing.
Thank you. Cool.
So I want to give you guys an opportunity to sing a song for us. Before you start, can you tell us what song is going to be?
Yes, it is going to be a lovely song called Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
I think I might have heard that one before.
Yep.
Yes, I think I have.
People
All right.
like that one.
A moderate hit.
I like that one. Okay, so I'm going to turn my mic off now. Here we go. You guys take it away.
Have yourself.
Hang on, let's try that again.
Let's start again.
Here we go.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Oh, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. No, we are as in olden days. Happy golden days of your faithful friends who are dear to us. Gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together. If the fates allow, hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Oh, and have yourself a merry little Christmas
Wow, that was awesome. You guys are so good, you make me sick. You know that? You guys are so good. It's unbelievable how good you guys are. The studio
we
is
do have a
melting.
couple of crashes now and again like the start, though.
that
we
was
are only human.
That was unbelievable. That
Oh,
was
thanks.
unbelievable. Thank you so much for performing that song.
pleasure.
And before I give away another, and actually, why don't I just try to give away another pair of tickets now?
Can we pick a number?
Yes. What number caller would you like this time?
9.
I like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do number 9, okay? Number to call right now, 257-5396. The 9th caller is going to win another pair of tickets. If you just won before, you can't win again. Human Nature, tickets are good till the end of the year, and this is good for 2 tickets for any show to see Human Nature. I am taking the 9th caller right now. Let me give out the number again, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to win these tickets 257-5396. No, you guys can't call. You
Oh,
guys
come
can't
on.
win tickets. No, it doesn't work
Come
for you guys.
on.
No, you guys have a
I wanna
job
see
to
the
do.
show.
I want to sit out and watch it one day.
All right, phone line's going crazy again. That was so amazing, guys. I always love it when you come in. Before I say goodbye to you guys, give me a quick rundown on this show again. For those of you maybe that have never seen your show before, or maybe those that have and want to hear some different stuff, want to hear some of these Christmas tunes, give me a little rundown on why people should check out this show, which the new show starts on the 19th of November and runs for a little bit over a month. Talk to me about
Well, we've called it Christmas, Motown, and more, and we do Christmas songs, Motown songs, and more. So it's a lot of fun, like all your Christmas favorites, and there's some Motown in there as well. And like I said before, we try and make it snow in the theatre, which is a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just great to get into the spirit of the holidays and see people starting to have a great time around Christmas time. And yeah, we have fun. We get people involved in the show as well, and it's a great night out.
And if you have seen the Motown show, it's actually completely
Really
different.
different,
Yeah, we have Christmas songs, and so it's a lot of fun.
Good for the whole family. Bring your kids, too.
I always appreciate it when you guys take the time to come in. It's always a good conversation with you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are so talented,
man.
and it's such a great show. You guys are welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. The guys from Human Nature, thank you so much for being here again. We really do
Awesome.
appreciate it.
See you again soon.
Happy
Appreciate it.
holidays, everyone.
That's right. Happy holidays, and good luck with the new show. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, what are we doing this weekend? What do we got going on? What is my producer doing this weekend? I think we're going to check out Marlon Wayans tonight. We're going to make fun of our producer. He's going to jump in a little bit, and Campaign's going to take the mic as well.
You're running the marathon in the sweatpants on Sunday,
right.
aren't you?
Let me tell you something. A marathon for me is walking a block. Okay, that's how horrible I am. I am not on the front of Fitness Magazine, and I never will be. That's for sure. Not everyone could look like you guys. Okay, that's for sure. All right, thanks for coming in, guys. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Hey, I'm Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench. I used to hit dingers and throw lasers when I was a Major League Baseball player. Now I do yard work, raise my boys, and get the occasional 18 holes in, but I still have to deal with that Hall of Fame pain. I use Blue Emu pain relief products. The Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis or Continuous Spray are easy to use. I just spray or rub it on. No stinging or burning. Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink. Available at nationwide retailers.
Hey, my friend's company spent 3 days cleaning up an email phishing attack that targeted several dozen employees.
Yeah, if just one malicious email slips through, an attack can spread quickly and do serious damage.
What if that happens to us?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda Forensics and Incident Response.
So we're good?
Yes, with fast automated response and remediation, all traces of the attack can be removed in less than 5 minutes.
Wow, that's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda. Your journey secured.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Hi, it's Matt Ray with America's First News, heard right here on 101.5 FM and 720 AM KDAWN. Start your day in the know. From Washington to Wall Street and covering the world, we've got you covered with the latest news, commentary, and analysis. Everything but the cup of coffee. America's First News, weekday mornings, 2 to 6 a.m. right here on 101.5 FM and 720 AM KDAWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
And now a message from the traffic cone you ran over on Blue Diamond last week.
Okay, ow, that hurt. I know, you're in a hurry, but I could have been killed. Look, I have a wife and a baby cone on the way. I'm out there risking it all. And for what? I'll tell you, Southern Nevada's economic future. I'm helping the I-11 get built and the Centennial Bowl. So show a cone a little love.
Love the cone. For road construction details, visit seeingorangenv.com or call 702-928-CONE.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Hill with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Children love to play, but did you know play is important for healthy brain development? Play helps children learn language, math, and social skills, and lowers stress. This is good for kids and their parents. The next time your child wants to play with you, say yes. It's one of the best parts of being a parent. For more information on child development, visit healthychildren.org or talk with your pediatrician.
This is Chelsea Stunkel with the Nevada Highway Patrol. Buckle up, drive safe, and don't drive impaired. No excuse is worth your life, and we want everyone to have 0 fatalities as their goal. If you see an impaired driver, dial 911 or star NHP and get those drunk drivers off the road. Please be safe out there.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
Mine too.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. By the way, a quick sports reminder note. UNLV Hoops on the road tonight. They're going to be playing UCLA. The spread opened up at 6.5. Now it's up to, I believe, one book, 8.5 or 9. So we'll see what happens basketball tonight. And then tomorrow could be one of your last chances to see Tony Sanchez in action, sadly. But UNLV football playing Hawaii at Sam Boyd Stadium. And there's not going to be many more games at Sam Boyd either. If memory serves me right, this might be the second to last game at Sam Boyd. I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, a lot of good sports this weekend, great college basketball games, and, of course, college football, NFL. We'll have plenty to talk about on Monday. So joining me in studio is our producer, Jason Stein, as I like to call him, Steiny. He is in studio, and, of course, Campaign is taking the mic since my co-host decided to leave. I don't know where he went. I think he had a doctor's appointment, so that's understandable.
An eye appointment.
That's totally because he can't see straight, so that's fine.
It's
you need your eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes are important.
Why do you
eyes
get
are
an Why do you get an eye appointment in the middle of the show? I guess his doctor's got a very busy schedule. He had to take the appointment when he could get it.
He just hates me.
Couldn't wait till noon or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
I'm going to defend him. Maybe his insurance. That's I don't know.
Maybe
Obama.
he just didn't want
Obama insurance,
he's
right?
got Obamacare.
Maybe he didn't want to hang out with the human nature guys. I do find it interesting.
Get into the show.
No, but hold on a second. I want to talk about this. This is important. Okay, when good-looking men come in studio, I noticed J.D. Sharp is scared. This is true. Campaign. I had the Chippendale guys in studio, and guess who wasn't here? J.D. Sharp.
You take the whole day off, or did he leave before their segment?
He left. I don't remember. He just left. And now he leaves when these strapping young Australian men come in. I noticed when there's a porn star in studio, he certainly doesn't make an eye doctor appointment. But when it's human nature or half-naked men, Chippendales, he decides to leave. I don't know. Maybe there's a correlation there.
You may be onto something. That's twice. I think we need to look for more.
Fine, fair enough.
That 3 times, I think, is a pattern.
It's a pattern after 3 times.
All right, so Stein, why are you in studio? You wanted to talk about something. What did you want to discuss?
No, we had nothing else to talk about, so I...
Oh, that's good. That's good. I always have something to talk about, dummy, okay?
What do you want to talk about?
You're a great producer. This idiot rolls in studio, and he says, well, we really have nothing else to talk about, so I'm just going to stroll in here.
No, I'm kidding, obviously. No, I thought this was a story that... It's a Friday. We like to wind down with kind of a fun story, and... I think this is a story that actually demands to be told.
Oh.
Please tell us.
Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah. After yesterday's show, Brian said, let's go get some lunch. I have to stop at Smith's right down the street here to pick something up. And so I'll buy lunch there. They've got really good deli sandwiches. And I said, okay, that's fine. So we go over there, right? Now, you go up to the deli, there's no menu. It's like some grocery stores will have like a menu, like turkey sandwich, corned beef sandwich. Like they make the sandwiches and they sell them routinely.
Right.
There's no sign there. So he goes up to the lady at the counter and says, do you make sandwiches? And she kind of gives this like, yeah, we can do that. And he said, great, I'll have a corned beef sandwich with lettuce and extra mayo. And he ordered, like, the works.
Right.
And it's really, again, this is not, like, their thing. Like, mainly what they do is they carve up the meat and the cheese, and they sell them, pound, half pound, or the potato salad or whatever. So he orders a sandwich from this lady. I'm going to say she was probably about 80 years old.
She was not that old. Will you stop it? You're 80 years old.
So he makes this old...
She was absolutely within your dating range. I don't know what you're talking about.
He picked out his bread, and she cut the sandwich. And she had, okay, is this thin enough for you? And then she put the roast there, the corned beef on there. Do you want lettuce? She actually had to go to the produce aisle and get a bag of... She shuffled over to the produce aisle and got a bag of lettuce just for his sandwich. She opened a bag of lettuce just for him. She had to go over to the mayo aisle and get a jar of mayo and spread the mayo on. I'm telling you, this process,
yes,
no lie campaign,
was all white privilege.
It was.
Me being white has
He
nothing
stood there.
to do
Yeah,
with
he
it.
stood there.
No,
Just,
it doesn't.
he just
sat
stood there
just
beaming.
like-
Yeah, he
And
was
then
hands
if
on
it-
his hips.
Hands on his hips.
I
watching
resent
it.
that.
This
I
was
resent
20
that.
minutes.
Just hurry and
20
make it.
I'm not kidding you. 20 minutes
Listen, hold
to
on.
make the sandwich.
Okay, now give me a chance to defend myself here. First
It was
of all,
a sickening display.
If it was an African American making the sandwich, he would be calling me a racist right now. If it's a white person, it's white privilege. So that's
have
not fair.
no-
That's not fair.
never
Number
gonna
two,
win.
okay?
You're not
I
aware of your
didn't-
surroundings.
First of all, I'm smart, unlike you. When you picked up one of those sandwiches that were quote unquote pre-made, it was probably made 3 days ago.
Wasn't
okay?
good. But I've got integrity. I'm not going to make some old lady
Exactly, it wasn't good.
go
okay?
out of her way to make me a
First
sandwich.
of all,
It
it's
was
not my fault if they
so
hire
selfish.
if they hire somebody that is a little bit slow behind the counter. Okay, then don't hire somebody slow. That's number
They
one.
don't make
First of
sandwiches.
all,
That's not their
this is-
thing.
I notice how he's leaving this out of the story. It was a hell of a sandwich. Okay, she put so much meat in that sandwich. I can make 5 sandwiches out of that damn thing. I still got half of it in my fridge, and I've already had 3 meals off of that sandwich.
She's probably going to get fired over that sandwich.
And you know what? I spent $6 for the sandwich, you nitwit. Okay, so I'm smarter than you. You decided to take an old sandwich, okay, an old sandwich that didn't taste good. You probably spent more money on it than me. I had a very nice old lady make a sandwich.
I didn't
for
say
me.
she wasn't nice.
She stuffed it with all the meat you could ever put into a sandwich, okay? And I'm the one who got the deal. Now, I'm very patient. I was very nice to her. I said, thank you so much. And by the way, I didn't load the sandwich up with all the stuff. You're exaggerating. All I got was lettuce and extra mayo, okay, dummy? Don't make it like
you know what?
I asked for every vegetable
let me
on the
comment on that
planet.
because
If
it
you
was
would have
okay
asked
for
for
you
every
to do that.
vegetable, it would take an
You know
extra
what?
10 minutes.
In all actuality, it was okay for you to do that, and that just shows Stein's
Disagree.
personality a little bit. It kind of shines through because he'll just take whatever.
Let's go more and let's focus on our producer, Jason Stein campaign.
I'd like to take a couple calls on this. You give out the number.
You give out the number, dummy. You're the producer.
What is it? It's
You don't even know the number?
702-57. What is
He
it?
doesn't even know the number.
I have no idea what the number is.
Once again, his personality
Right,
shining
exactly.
through again.
Yeah, estrogen. 702-257-5396. Do you think I'm wrong asking
No, you're
somebody behind the table, behind the deli at Smith's, an older lady, to make a sandwich for me? Hey, if you think I'm wrong, I'll hear you out. Or maybe you agree with me. You don't
Again,
think I did anything
let me
wrong.
make this
Let me
clear.
give out the number again. Shut up. 702-257-5396. Again, the number to call, 702-257-5396.
I'm talking about morals. Okay, they made the sandwich. All right.
No.
She
He's trying
did
to
it with a
avoid what
smile.
we're trying to get to.
That's not the point. I'm saying, was Brian in the wrong for going up, holding up the line, to have this elderly woman make him a sandwich? That again, that's not. They don't even have a menu. This is just something they will do, but it's not something that they do routinely. He was, by the way, campaign. He was holding up the line. There were other people waiting for their coleslaw and their and their deli meats and all that. And he's standing there with his hands on his hips,
He didn't cut in
watching
front of
this old
nobody.
lady
Like you would
shuffle
kill him
around.
if he cut in front of somebody. So he didn't do that. He waited in line for his turn. Then he asked for what he wanted, and he got what he wanted. It's only $6. I mean, damn, come on.
Okay, so campaign, talk to me a little bit about our producer, because he's got some issues. Okay, we had this conversation last week. Actually, we had this conversation on Tuesday. We're watching Monday Night Football, and he freaks out at the bar because he didn't want to stand up, and he leaves for 45 minutes. And you said he has a lot of estrogen in his body.
Well, what it was, this is just another prime example of he was standing in the line, and he has anxiety or whatever, being around people and stuff like that.
Tremendous anxiety.
And so him watching you do that with this woman standing in line, people were behind him, and he could feel their energy and stuff like that. That made him uncomfortable. So this, and when did this happen? This happened yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
He's been holding this. You've been holding this for hours and stuff. You should have left that alone. But that's your personality and stuff. You hold on to things that you shouldn't hold on to. Let him go.
Why is he struggling getting dates? That's what I want to know. Why is he struggling? I want to hear campaigns.
It's only because he's holding on to a lot of baggage and stuff. He holds on to a lot of baggage and a lot of energy. He's a great guy, and I want females.
He is a great guy.
I want to open up the phone lines for people to call in and get a date with him, because he's actually a fantastic.
Would you do that if you don't know what they look like?
Individual.
Oh, probably.
Because he's shallow with his.
Sight unseen.
What if it's
sure? You sound great.
What if it's a woman with a deep voice? Would you do it?
Sure, why not?
Hey, If you want to date with our producer, Jason Stein, he doesn't care what you look like. Give us a call, 702-257-5396.
He doesn't even care about your credit score either.
But okay, so now
go on.
Now we're mixing the sandwich calls with the date calls.
Yes,
okay.
Johnny, you're gonna have to filter that.
No,
or if someone who wants to date me and has an opinion on Brian's selfishness in the deli line, we'd love to hear that
Listen,
too.
I admit I can at times be a very selfish person. I'm not as selfish as I was 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. I was
Still
an
selfish.
extremely selfish person. At times I am selfish, but I think I'm getting better at that. By the way, you also failed to mention that I bought you lunch for the second time in a row yesterday. So why are you calling me selfish? You're making fun of me for having a lady make me a sandwich, but you're failing to announce that I actually paid for your meal.
Okay, you made fun of me. Well, I made fun of you, then you made fun of me. Now it's my turn to make fun of you.
Oh, here we go.
Campaign. Guess what?
What?
We go. Guess where he takes me? Not yesterday, but the day before. Arby's. Fine, that's all right. I like Arby's. Okay.
Not a big fan of Arby's.
So you know he's gonna pay for me at Arby's. He pulls out a credit card. He goes, here's the credit card. Go pay for the sandwich. I look at it. It says Denise. It says Denise Shapiro on it.
It's not a
what the
credit
hell
card.
Who's Denise Shapiro? That's my mom. What kind of man shares a credit card with his mother?
It's not a credit card, okay? It is a joint account because, to be honest with you, I'll tell you why.
A joint account with his mother.
No,
it's a 40-year-old man.
I'll tell you why I do that, because both my parents are
credit
retired.
score.
I'm giving you the answer, the truth. Both my parents are retired. They don't have a lot of money, and they use my funds sometimes when they need to, and I give them a little bit of money every week because they're retired and they don't have a lot of money. So I'm actually doing a
But
kind thing.
why
a
doesn't
nice
the card
thing.
say Brian on it?
Because my mom has a card as well with her name on it, so she can take out money and use it as she wishes. That's why.
Does your mom ever look at the credit card statement and go, why are there so many charges on here for Arby's?
No, she's never said that.
Okay, so now we got the phone number again. Is it weird for a 40-year-old man to share a joint account with his mother?
No, I don't think it is.
No.
Will you date me? And what do you think
it-
about Brian's selfishness ordering the sandwich from an 80-year-old lady at Smith's?
When he explained
three things you can comment on now.
When he explained it, it made sense. But before that, when you explained it, I was like, wait a minute, how's the estrogen level right here? But once he explained it, that's kind of noble. You know what I'm saying? Like
It is kind of nice.
You take care of
It
your
is kind of nice.
Let's go back.
Kind of made me look like a jerk, right?
Why?
It did.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's another thing about
I
you.
bought him
And-
lunch, Campaign.
And what I said before, his personality. So he's a great guy, but his energy and his frequency is low.
Sometimes he's a great guy.
His frequency is low.
I don't
Your
like to.
frequency is
Okay,
low.
I don't like to inconvenience people. I really don't. I'm not that kind of guy. I could never, ever in a million years do sales. We have all these salespeople running around here. Could never do what they do. Pick up the phone and bother people and say, hey, do you want to advertise us? I'd rather pick up trash. I'd rather pick up garbage off the street than call people and ask them to advertise. So same thing. I'm not going to ask the old lady for a sandwich. I'm not going to, I don't like to inconvenience people, and I don't like to be inconvenienced.
That could be misconstrued as asking your wife to make a sandwich. When you say, I'm not going to ask the old lady for a sandwich.
You'll ball and
You
chain.
talking about your wife? Yeah, who are you talking about?
She won't make me a sandwich.
See, exactly. Because you know what?
I don't. I never understood how cult leaders, how Charles Manson get people to kill for him, and David Koresh and all these cult. How do you get people to follow you? I can't even get my wife to make me a sandwich.
Your life and where you're at in life right now is apparently where you need to be, because it's all about frequencies and stuff, and your frequency is so low, and you need to vibrate higher, homie. Like, you got to get.
Well, no, his wife does that. She vibrates. Anyway, so let's finalize with this. What are we doing this weekend, Stein? Or let me start with myself, because I'm the selfish one.
There you go.
Okay,
Yes.
We're planning on going to see Marlon Wayans tonight. That's going to be a really fun show.
Nice.
Tomorrow, I'm planning on going to the UNLV football game. It's supposed to be a nice day, afternoon game against Hawaii. Then I'm going with a date. We're going to see Fleetwood Mac at the T-Mobile Arena. Tickets were not cheap, by the way. And then we are going to go to a really, really good restaurant called Catch. I believe it's at the Aria, if I'm not mistaken. Really, really good restaurant. And Sunday, it's either going to be a day of playing golf and maybe going to see Wynn's house and pigging out and watching football all day, or maybe just going to see Wynn's house for 12 hours and watching football and eating all day.
You are
to me,
truly-
that sounds like a fun weekend.
Truly a man of the people.
Steven's house, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that would be
All right.
better, yes.
But
Truly a man of the people right here. Fleetwood Mac, fancy restaurants, a man of the people right here.
Yes.
What is
He's
that
single.
supposed to mean?
He's single.
I'm having a good time. You think that's a bad weekend?
I'm saying I don't think the common person is doing what is that, but
You're definitely a common person. I do agree with that. Go
You're
ahead,
very
Stein.
common.
What are you doing this weekend, Stein? Go ahead.
Well, we may go to Marlon Wayne's.
Yes.
We may. We'll
Yeah.
see. That's
Yeah.
the 10 o'clock is very
God
late.
forbid, as long as I don't ask for anyone to make me a sandwich.
Late at 10 o'clock at night is it's a
don't wanna
late show. It's
inconvenience anybody.
way past my bedtime.
I know, if you want to inconvenience anybody.
I'm watching some very interesting shows on Netflix.
On the
and,
floor?
Maybe
you still have an air mattress?
Maybe I still have my air mattress. And maybe Sunday I go to Chris Wynn's house for Sunday football. But I'd prefer not to be there for 11 hours again.
All right. Campaign, what do you got going on this weekend? Tell us.
I'm going to, because you guys don't really pay me all that, so I have to work some more stuff. You know, I gotta go work.
You got to
and
do the hustle.
I gotta go hustle and stuff. But no, I'm going to figure out some new feeds because we got some great guests coming on next week.
We do.
So I'm going to experiment with some new equipment and stuff. And Sunday.
That's what Jason Stein's wife does. She experiments with new equipment.
She has to. I mean,
Hey,
look at him.
he's got to get used to this. If he's going to start a segment by mocking me after I bought him lunch and make me out to be this selfish, horrible person, I am going to go personal with him. I think that's fair, don't you think?
Yes, and with a little filthy little air mattress at his house. Your little.
Why is you assume it's filthy? I don't
Because
know.
you look like a dirty cop to me.
Okay,
You always.
fair enough.
I walked into his apartment.
Fair enough.
Campaign. I walked into his apartment.
Look like I was squatting.
I walk in there. I see an air mattress in the living room. There's clothes everywhere. He's got a Chippendale calendar in the kitchen, the one that I gave to him, by the way.
My prized possession.
Yeah, and I see like cigarette butts everywhere, and it's like it looks like a crack house. It really does. You look like you could be fined up to $1,000 and go to jail for up to 6 months.
Probably could.
You really do. You really do. Carolyn Goodman would throw your ass in jail. I mean, it's true. It's true. Really, it's horrible.
He's a candidate for a red flag law. You know, your red flags are everywhere and stuff like.
You are a red flag. I would certainly not give you a
yes.
weapon. You're the kind of guy that would rip a helmet off and attack somebody.
Let me tell you something. If you guys ever let him go, like he's fired and stuff, you know, I would be scared to go out in the parking lot. Like I'd be like, I would go down there and tell the security lady down there, I'd be, hey, don't open the door if you see the little dude come back with a trench coat on. Don't. He's red flag.
Stein, I'm going to get you laid this weekend.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
It's going to happen. I'm going to get you laid this week.
How much is that going to cost?
Probably at least $500.
Damn.
Probably. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, Campaign. Maybe Campaign knows a few women that maybe might be willing to spend some time with you, and you don't have to pay them for it. We'll see. We'll see if Campaign can
He
do
just
it.
has to vibrate higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a break for a few days. We'll be back at you on Monday, folks. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to Human Nature. Daneal Negreanu was fantastic. Great guests lined up for you on Monday. Have a great day, everybody. Sean Hannity next.
Your home for Sean Hannity. KDW.